You want me to start now, Dan?
You asshole.
Everybody, it's Sunday. It's Sunday. We do podcasts on this day. We go over 3D printing and all that stuff, and then different pop culture stuff, figure collecting, figure pre-ordering. But we also have guests on from time to time, and today we are here with Junkion Crafts and Builds. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, guys. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Thanks for joining us. It was awesome meeting you at AwesomeCon a few months ago. So really cool that we could collaborate and get you over on the podcast.
Yeah, I've been watching you guys here probably before AwesomeCon and everything. Just even kind of keeping my Sundays occupied, trying to get life under wraps and get ready for another week. So I get a lot of pop culture information from you guys and movies and just laughs.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
I have standards. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down. It all works out. So
I'm glad it leaned into this one now. Yeah.
I am glad that you mentioned it because you've been one of our longer viewers. I'm not sure how long you've been watching, but
I think
thank you for coming in consistently.
yeah, I came upon your channel. I think it was a random sort that popped up on YouTube showing some of your products from your webpage. Went over and started looking at things, and then like usual, I start researching a lot of these a lot of YouTubers, especially ones that I have shared hobbies with.
Right.
And saw that you guys were doing a weekly stream, so definitely want to check you guys out. And like I said, I've been watching off and on ever since.
Cool.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I especially appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
I
No
just keep
worries.
looking over your right shoulder to see what's all in your little
Oh
stack.
God, my
See
my
Venom.
quarter view.
I see the little
Um,
glowing guys from the Mezco. Something
Oh
Four Horsemen.
yeah, Sod Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary situation over here because I've been trying to clean up my basement to get my workspace ready to try to do some filming for my YouTube channel, and more stuff comes in than gets cycled through. So it's quite a mess.
I mean, I just moved, so I'm dealing with this. Hard to see. The lighting in here is not ideal. I don't have any lights set up. But these big
Mhm.
boxes back here are the Orange Storm Giga.
Oh crap!
Yeah. Giant. Oh man. Um so is there anything particularly is there anything coming out soon that you're excited for? I saw you shared the fans hobby ATAC, which
Mhm.
they announced shortly after Hasbro announced their what is it, the Awe?
They're all striker, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I've been going through, and like I said, I got back into collecting as an adult, like right around COVID times, with lockdown and everything else.
Okay.
And I actually started back in with Transformers. That was one of my bread and butter go-to toys when I was younger.
Okay.
Um, so that's where I really started seeing a lot of like YouTube videos, getting used to some of the content creators. That's actually where I met some of my now closest friends in regards to T-Man 978, Extra Zero, and a bunch of other guys that were doing, longtime YouTube content creators and specifically Transformer reviewers, toy reviewers, because I knew nothing starting back into things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I jumped in both feet with things. And then over time, it's my collecting habits kind of grew, good or bad. I started phasing out of Transformers because it was like I'm buying the same things over and over, the same figures.
Yeah.
But then I started getting back into action figures, specifically with classified series, and then I started getting like Action Force, and then it just kind of ballooned from there. So right now, I think my main collections revolve around classified Valaverse, some of the legends, but I'm getting a lot more selective because I started grabbing them for fodder initially for customs.
Okay.
And then I made the mistake of ordering a Mythic Legions figure once just to see what it was like, and now I am full bore into that, which, like I said, as you see the stuff in the back here, and thank God you can't see the top because you call it a safety hazard of all the stuff around there. But it's been really cool and started expanding into more indie companies.
Okay.
One of the things I got this week, and sorry, my headset's, I had to switch it out so it looked a little funny. But I started getting, I got my wave 2 of Savage Crucible in, so I don't know if you guys have seen those much at all.
Yeah, it's Mythic
But
Legions
they
also,
are,
right?
they
Four
can, they're,
Horsemen.
they can kind of go in. It's not really Four Horsemen. It's Ranger Studios. They created their own line. And they had a very successful Kickstarter about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So they've been really kicking butt with like the quality of their figures, the detail on them. It's a lot more detailed than Four Horsemen because they kind of have their own specific style.
They do. Yeah.
They're fantastic figures. In fact, one that I just got in was the Frazetta warrior with the ball and chain. Really a gorgeous figure. But in regards to segment, I'm sorry I'm rambling already, but that's what I do if you have seen any of our shows.
Yeah,
Dan.
But
I was gonna say, I mean,
there's a lot of things I get excited for. Sometimes silly following, and then that makes poor financial decisions. But it's all in fun.
also same.
But yeah, there's mainly just the stuff that we have coming out. I guess if you're talking Hasbro or mainline stuff, we saw over the UK the snake armor starting to be released over there, and that looks really, really wicked.
That's coming out nice.
But yes, but I'm also just excited to the fact that my workshop is almost cleaned up so I can get back to printing.
Awesome.
That's something I had to say. My coworker got me into that, and because he has his own Etsy store, he does cases for short band radios, and he's really been killing it with that. And he's like, "Yeah, 3D printing's awesome. It's a great hobby." I'm like, "Okay." So I picked up an Ender 3.
Okay.
Because he's like, if you're going to start, you might as well start tinkering and really get your frustrations out now. Which he's not wrong. He's not wrong. It was a lot of learning to go into it. But I started making some really, some neat things for my, dioramas, pieces and such. Because I was trying to figure out ways to really enjoy my figures other than putting them on a shelf.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of got into toy photography. And I'm starting to just get into that stuff more. And then last year I got rid of my Enders and picked up 2 Bamboo Labs. So going from a bed slinger to a Core XY is night and day in regards to kind of like speeding up some of these things. So I've been dabbling with like 1/12 scale vehicles, diorama pieces. I haven't got to the point like, I have this by my desk all the time because I play around with it a lot. But like I picked this up from you guys at AwesomeCon, and I just keep dabbling around, taking pictures and messing with it. And I need to post a lot of the stuff I've been doing the past couple weeks. So I'm a big fan of you guys and your work. That's what I'm getting to, I guess.
How do you like that? Well, I mean, obviously you like the bamboo. That's like a point of contention for us. Like, I don't know if we're anti-bamboo, but we're definitely hesitant to like dip our toes into that at all.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely Anycubic fans from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Especially
I love my Ender 3 and my Ender 3 V3KE. I love those. Yeah.
So, yeah. But now, have you like made an enclosure around any of your stuff, or you just kind of keep everything open for your Cobras?
I live in an apartment, so I don't cover anything.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say my stuff is in the basement, and I do have like a dedicated heater down there in the basement to keep it like, warm. So at least it's at like 7 degrees at all times, so I don't have to worry about the breeze or the warping too much.
Okay. Now, what's your I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pete.
No. I was just gonna say, you said you noticed that we're really into Anycubic. I kind of got into that just because they were offering at the time more bang for the buck. So for the price that I spent for an Ender 3, I could get the Cobra 1 Max, which was huge. And when they announced the Cobra 2, it fixed a lot of the frustrations that I had with the Cobra 1. I was like, well, this needs a better fan. This needs dual Z rods for this to be a contender. And when they announced the 2, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, they did everything that I had a problem with. And then looking at that, I was like, man, they need a better fixed bed. That's my big issue with the Cobra 2 now. I feel like I'm tweaking the Z offset every couple weeks just to make sure that the adhesion's great. But the fan's phenomenal, the movement's phenomenal. Matt, I don't know if you remember, we initially had some issues with Y layer shifting, and that might have been
Yeah.
through overheated board, but it seems like Anycubic rectified all those issues within, I'd say, about 6 months of launching the product, which is still very long and probably upset a lot of people. But I noticed that the Cobra 3 just is leaps and bounds better than the Cobra 2 as far as the build structure for that. So the framing for that is beautiful. If you looked at the bed for that, that is completely firm. You get a great first layer print. I don't think I've had any scarring or lifting on the Cobra 3 since that purchase, but I'm still very happy with the Cobra 2s overall. So to see that you're getting your money's worth is interesting. And not to
Yeah.
knock bamboo, but I think the moment of contention for us was more like, well, a lot of the parts for these are not expensive. So what are you paying $1,000 or $800 for if the competitors are putting them out for two? And I think you were the one mentioning that the support is unmatched with bamboo. Is that correct?
For me, I think I've never had a real issue with their support, and just going with them. Like again, I wasn't a convert for bamboo. It was one of those things like, hey, it's Black Friday weekend. I went up to
Yeah.
Micro Center. I'm like, find me something that's going to be kind of neat
Center.
that I can start using and also do different types of use different types of material because I was doing TPU for tires
Okay.
and ASA for some of the bodies, just to have that extra that rigidity, and still mess around with PLA, which I say all these other materials I was going to use. I'm still grabbing spools of PLA and just printing away. So
Yeah, I mean that's a great default material. The TPU
Mhm.
for tires, I've thought about doing that actually. I just don't print.
And Mike, I
Yeah,
don't know how I don't know if you're paying attention to the PLA scene, but I think Polymaker just announced their first high temp PLA, which is supposed to be made as a something that could withstand, I want to say, about 200 degrees.
really.
Yeah, and you still
Okay.
print it at the same PLA settings that you would normally do, but for some reason, yeah. So you get that the water repellent and the heat repellent on top of that. So I'm interested to see like how far are they going to take PLA? Could that be the next TPU? Could that be the next, um,
Yeah, because I mean,
PETG essentially?
yeah, because I mean, it's really versatile, and I haven't broached any sort of PETG printing yet because I know it can be a pain in the butt in regards to bed adhesion and just sticking around and such. So yeah, that'd be cool. To look at the high temp stuff because I mean, ASA, even if you get it stuff like from Amazon or whatever, PLA is just a more economical
Yeah.
thing, especially if you're printing something that's just going to be for a display piece. So,
Now,
but
Mike,
I'm glad. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just going to ask you as a seller, have you ran into any issues, doing PLA to any clients, or are you strictly nationally, or do you do further out?
I I haven't broached into printing anything. Anything I normally have done, I've been giving to friends and stuff. And this one project that I'm working on now, I'm trying to have set for this November. There's a Legion's Con I'm going to head up to, and I want to try to get this done, get this larger scale project finished. Um, but I haven't braved enough to open up any type of store or sell anything. Normally, I'm just making stuff for friends and dabbling around because I'm not as talented as you guys in regards to getting on Blender or anything and designing these things. I just grab what is there and I just kind of reprint it and then I'll paint it and try to post process, smooth it out as much as possible. So I'm still very much a noob in regards to that. So
Me too.
that's
Trust
what.
me.
Yeah, Pete, how's Blender going for you?
It's not. It's not.
Get out of here. Sorry.
So did you guys get any pickups this week or anything?
You cut out on what you were asking about.
Oh, I
did
was
you get
asking if
any-
you guys had got any new purchases this week or anything for your collection.
Well, my Orange Storm Giga arrived, and that's almost 400 pounds of printer. But my Hot Toys Sam Wilson Captain America figure arrived earlier today. It's in the box in my closet right now.
Okay.
So that's pretty. I'm excited about that. I don't think anything else.
I finally got my Transformers Ecto-1 crossover.
Yeah. Well, I finally mailed it to you. That took me forever.
It's just when I thought I was out and I was only going to get one more Ecto-1. Oops.
I'm selling my Ectos.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, the problem with Dan doing this podcast is now he looks into HasLabs and stuff like that. So that when the Hasbro released the HasLab for their Ecto 1 that converts to the 1A, like Dan was like, "Oh, I gotta get it."
No, it's definitely happening.
Did you get back in? Did you get the? What was I trying to say? Hasbro re-released those plasma series, Ghostbusters. Did you see those, Dan, or did you kind of?
Oh, I saw them. I have to be very selective because of the room I have. If you look behind me,
I was gonna say you have some extra room behind you there.
But don't, you're not helping. There's room set aside for that gigantic Ecto that Hasbro's doing. But I didn't get the plasma figures, but I did get the Migos that Hasbro kind of re-released. Not kind of re-released. I got the Migos that they re-released. I got the reissue of the original Kenner line. And then I also got the 2-in-the-box PKE meter and trap, and I also have the proton pack. So I got a lot. But
I did pre-order the Ghostbusters re-release by 𝗵𝗺𝗏 also, which we'll probably talk about later. I'm guessing, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, they're sold out. They're not to talk about. They're already gone, man.
Well, you can buy them individually. It's a 1/6 re-release updated version of their 1/6 Ghostbusters figures. I'm hoping they do the Ecto 1, but I just pre-ordered a new statue, so I also shouldn't. I'm getting Steppenwolf.
Junkion, have you seen the 𝗵𝗺𝗏 Ecto 1?
I have not, man.
I
will say that like a lot of 1/6 scale stuff in that I haven't really ventured into.
Don't do it.
No, do it. Hold on.
No, it's a hole you fall into, and then you're like, why am I getting 1/6 scale stuff?
Yeah, that's where we have another one of the co-hosts for Figure Action Podcast, Matt Hartsformer. He's our 1/6 collector guy. He's
okay.
I live vicariously through him, but then there are some things like I just look at him like, holy crap, that looks so awesome.
Yeah, definitely. That's the problem. Things just look too cool sometimes.
This is going to be bad. I'm going to share this with us, and everybody's going to see it on stream in a second. But Demise video for sharing, and there you go.
Oh
holy crap!
Yeah,
it's beautiful. I really hope they actually, it's still available on Big Bad Toy Store. But I'm hoping that they re-release this so I could get it with the website that has a payment plan for it.
Look at it. Look at the lights. Look at that.
Now, all right. So this is 1/6 scale.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So would you? So I mean, is it open? Like the doors? Obviously, I saw the trunk open, but do the doors open? Or are you going to put like Hot Toys or anything like into this?
Yeah, so it's made by 𝗵𝗺𝗏, and 𝗵𝗺𝗏 just reissued their 1/6 Ghostbusters figures.
Okay.
They did a 4-pack that comes with Slimer, and then they did a 3-pack of just the Doctors, but then they also have them for sale individually.
The light bar
are the only
rotates.
ones that you get anymore.
The light bar rotates, man.
It's gorgeous. It needs a little weathering though. It's a little too big for the
Oh well,
Ghostbusters.
hold on. It's funny you mentioned that. If you wait
They
just a
did the
second,
1A.
they did. Look at this one. Ah!
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's gorgeous. And yes, the hood opens, the doors open. Look at
I have that.
the trunk, the back door opens so you can put a stretcher, that holds the proton packs. It does everything that you'd want it to do. Oh my God.
That is gorgeous.
So
Seriously.
Blitzway actually a few months ago they announced the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and I already have the Hot Toys one. But just looking at pictures for the Blitzway, I'm just like, this one is it's better than the Hot Toys version, and I like the Hot Toys version.
Now, will it have the top piece conversion? I mean, similar to what they have with the Alpha for the HasLab. Will you be able to do that with this one as well?
The Blitzway does not come with the conversion. Unfortunately, it's one or the other.
Okay.
I will say, as a obsessed Ghostbusters fan, I'm okay with that. One day I will. One day. I don't know where I'm putting it.
In your grave?
Is it putting it or putting them, Dan? Are you getting both? You're going to get both.
You guys are so bad. You guys are bad.
I hope Kelly's not watching.
She probably is. Yeah.
I'm a horrible enabler, just FYI.
Junkie and my wife. Junkie and my wife's 6 foot tall. I'm 5'6". I'm dead. If she decides it, snap, it's over. Listen, I'll just say it this way, Matt, Junkie, and Pete.
I'm proud of you.
I'll say it this way: if that was the Ecto 1A, I would already be dead.
Well, just make sure you sign it in your will to give it to Pete, and that way he has it because he has all that room down there that he needs to fill up.
I told her like we don't need a guest bed, like it'll go right there.
Overrated. That's why there's hotels for guests.
In fact, I'm looking at the guest bed height. I think it might actually go under there. If I just have one of my friends here 3D print a little garage to cover it.
You just wheel it out.
Yeah. Hey guys, you want to see my car?
Get one of those like the rugs that kids have with the road like printed on it.
Yeah.
God. We're just gonna get matching sheets in too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
I'm assuming you already have them somewhere. Just
I don't. I almost did.
There's so much though.
Every now and then I do search for the real Ghostbusters bed sheets, and every now and then I'm like,
I was gonna say I'll check Amazon.
That's a dangerous spot too. Yeah.
There you go. I just did it.
Don't. What are you doing to me?
What'd you do?
No, I'm just going good. I pre-ordered the Hasbro Pulse 4-pack Ghostbusters rooftop battle.
Okay.
I think I'm going to give them to Grayson.
Yeah,
he has been watching the Ghostbuster movies back to back for the past like 3 days.
He likes
Hold on.
Scares,
wait. Is that why you were asking about the proton beam in Frozen Empire?
That's exactly why.
You have no idea. Do you have no idea how proud I am? You were like, Dan, why does this happen? It doesn't make sense. I was like, I have an answer. I know why.
You know, I will say I have just recently here in the past 2 weeks watched the new ones, and I enjoyed them. They were fun romp to look at. You know, I kind of put my head out. You know, I've disavowed the 2016 version because it was one of those things I watched and I didn't chuckle at once. But the new stuff I liked a lot. I like the callbacks in both of those. I mean,
Frozen Empire. I just watched it again with my son for the third time. I think I liked it much better this time than I did the first time.
Honestly,
what?
Frozen Empire, I liked it more the second time. I don't know what I was expecting the first time, but it just fell short. And then I watched it the second time. I was like, oh no, this movie's fine. I like it
What
a
did
lot.
I tell you guys? I said you watch it again. I guarantee it.
There was something else that I think Sinners is one of those too.
Junkion, just for the record, I saw Ghostbusters 2016 9 times in the theater. If you want to know where I stand on that one.
I judge not at all, because I mean, as long the fandom is there, it's just, yeah.
I hear you. That's okay. At least you're
Man,
not.
that's amazing.
Hey, there's a big difference between it wasn't my thing and what other people did after that movie came out. Yeah, there's a huge difference. And we're not going to go there. Anyway, somebody else take over again before I keep on going.
Pete, did you have anything to redirect or?
No, you guys were talking about recent pickups and then segued into Ghostbusters super hard. But I was just gonna say the Roman Key Gun Girl is what I picked up. I posted pictures online.
Oh, that's great. I did see you put those up. Now I know, like I said, T-Man has it, but what do you think of it so far?
I think it's fantastic, and the fact that the deluxe version comes with 2 bodies, one tattooed and the other one clean, and then it has like clothes for all of that stuff too, different faces, different hands. It doesn't feel cheap, which is typically what I'm looking for. I also pre-ordered the Roman Key blanks, the second release that they're doing for the guys.
Okay.
And I got so excited after that, so I picked up clothes for them already. So I've been waiting on them for like 6 months now, and when they get here, they'll be
Now,
freshly robed.
I'm assuming you watched Edge Runners before you bought Remengo, or was it kind of reverse, or have you watched Edge Runners?
I did not watch Ed Runners at all. You're talking about Cyberpunk, is that right?
He doesn't know he had like, this is Cyberpunk, right? Yeah, he doesn't know anything about it. He's just buying them.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely nothing. Love it.
No judgment. It's an interesting anime to watch, to say the least. So
the thing is, and I talk about this sometimes, I'm really big into like feudal Japan, and I'm really big into that Neo Tokyo vibe. So when they did the Mecha Roll Rise, the Devil's Toys,
the Devil Toys line, I thought you were going to go into that line. Those are really cool. That's a cool hybrid of like a cyberpunk samurai ninja kind of thing.
Yeah. And I figured they need a girl in that display that I'm trying to put together, and Gun Girl was perfect for that.
So what else? I mean, you guys have asked me what I collect and stuff, but I mean, fans of Ghostbusters, Matt, you're kind of 1/6 overall. Pete, you're kind of like,
I'm into everything.
A little bit of everything.
I've been hoarding Joy Toy figures a lot. I'm bummed because we talked about the zombie line they're doing, but they're 1/25th scale because they have 1/25th. It's really 1/24th, but they have 1/25th scale stuff that I do have some of, but I was hoping that the zombies would have been 1/18th because that's more so what their recent lines have been. And I'm buying Warhammer figures and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So I fell down the rabbit hole. I had my son 7 years ago, and about to be 8. So around that time, I just wanted him to have cool toys. I wasn't collecting at the time. And I started buying like KOs of like cool stuff, and I was very disappointed that they just broke in my hands. So I started looking at the Marvel Legends line, and I started picking up Legends left and right. And it went from like, "Hey son, I got you this," to like, "Hey, these are mine now." And then I started designing the 3D like backdrops and the accessories for him, so he could build out his little worlds and stuff like that. And now he's kind of getting involved in it too. So he's like, "Dad, this is what I need. Can you design me something like this?" Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell off a lot of older Legends and selects, and he's like, "Can you just give them to me?" I'm like, "You don't even like these guys." He was like, "It's okay. Just let me have them."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, we'll see."
That's, there's nothing wrong with that, because that's the thing. I think with my niece and nephew, they're 7 and 9, and I would get my nephew Julian some different figures. He's just still in that mode where his way of playing is like smashing them together as hard as he absolutely can. I bought him one of those AWOC, one of their basic figures. It's kind of like a monkey or a panther type of thing. And then I go down the other day and I pick it up and like, where's the leg, Julian? Oh, he got into a battle. I'm like, oh. So I tried to find the leg, and it's right at the drop down hip joint. And I was like, damn. Then 2 seconds later, he's looking at some of the legions I have behind me. He's like, oh, can I mess with one of those? I'm like, I was like, absolutely not. No, you can look at them. It's supervised playtime.
There's a commercial that Sideshow Collectibles did where a guy is walking down in his robe. He's at the back window drinking his coffee, and he looks and he sees his son in the sandbox. And then he notices his son's playing with something, and then he looks to the side, and his display case is missing things. And then it cuts to the son out, and he's playing with like statues and hot toys in the sand, breaking them and everything like that.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good, but I was like, oh, it would smash.
Nope.
Well, I'm not out the woods yet. So Grayson's old enough now, but Brookie's just getting there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I did with my first S truck my dad got me when I was a baby. He got that 1983 release, and I just, as it grew up.
Chris Farley and Tommy Boy, here comes the meat wagon.
Yeah, it just now. Luckily, the only thing that broke on it was the side view mirror.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't been able to figure a way to properly repair it.
No way.
And that is it.
Yeah, my mom got me Hess trucks for the longest time, and then our family friend, they're like, "Oh, you guys will like this too." So I have a trunk somewhere in the house here that has all these Hess trucks from like 82 to maybe like 89. Well, not 89, because I would have been. I don't know. There's a bunch,
Right
and
there.
I'm like, what the hell am I going to do about them?
Right there,
Yeah,
where my finger is.
and-
Those are
Mhm.
1, 2. I have them. I have all of them from 83 to last year. I got them all. My dad. That's my dad's gift to me every year for Christmas. I think last year he finally said, "I think we're done with these," and I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I guess we're good. I think 40 is good."
It's not good, but I've actually been buying Jada Toys cars, like the 1/24th scale.
Yeah, I know.
selectively, but it's just another thing I'm hoarding now.
Yeah,
It's scary. What you find one thing, and then that one thing turns into 7, and
Yeah, no, I mean
More
that's
and-
really what I do is I just hoard. It's
Junkie, and I had up till last year. I had 18 Ecto-1s. Just different
18
variations,
I'd say of various scales.
different scales, different releases, different production companies. Yeah, I have like a vinyl one sitting here. I have 3 out of box Hot Wheels, the Ecto-1, the 1A, and 2016. I have a Jada Toys one there. I got the Kenner re-release behind me here in the firehouse. Wait, no, wrong side, right there.
Mhm.
And I tried to reduce the number of them because, that was the deal with my wife. I said, Kelly, I need this Hasbro one. I will sell the rest of them. And
Is that I see Ecto Cooler behind you.
yes,
At least one.
no. Oh no, there's 2.
I am impressed.
Yeah,
I am very impressed.
sir. When this came
you
out,
you are dedicated.
okay, so when 2016 came out, Matt will tell you the amount of stores I drove around Virginia to get these. At one point at the bottom of my closet, I had 2, 3. I had like 7 of the can cases and like 20 of the juice box cases, and they lasted over a year because of like, this is limited. These are gonna last. And every day I'd be like, I'd sit, yes. And then when they did Afterlife, they didn't release it nationwide. They put out a special release that only a selected few got, and I begged them. I was 2 steps away from oral favors with Coca-Cola to send me one of these, and they sent me the box. The box is downstairs on display, and upstairs, Ghostbusters Afterlife. And sometimes when you open it, you can still smell it. And there is a rumor that it is coming back.
For the cartoon, it would make a lot of sense.
I've seen nothing yet, but my friend Aaron just sent me a step-by-step video of actually making something that the guy swears tastes exactly like Ecto-Cooler used to, and that's dangerous because I'm going to make a ton of it.
Dan's gonna have a meth lab set up to make.
I was gonna say it's some sort of aftermarket basement combination of stuff that sees colors after a while.
Yeah, it's like it's a citrus drink, 5 scoops of a lemon flavor, 2 scoops of an orange flavor, 3 scoops of sugar, which we all need, and then you mix that, then you put in the 2 drops of green and 1 drop of blue food coloring. It looks just like it, and I'm like, oh my god, I can taste this video. I need it. So I'm gonna try to do it. I'm actually gonna try to do it on stream, one of these next Shadowcast streams, and have a live taste test. It needs to happen.
So we start calling you Walter afterwards, so you're the Breaking Bad of sugary beverages.
Yeah.
He's Heisen nerd.
Heisen nerd, yes.
So I'm gonna redirect a bit. Earlier you were talking about bamboo, and a while ago we were talking about this new machine they were putting out. It's like the H2MS or something, HDMS.
Well, I did see that.
I don't know. Like, we have also talked about that Eufy make E1. So right now you primarily just 3D print and then whatever you tinker with by hand, right?
Yeah, I basically smooth it. I take say I'll have a piece for what's something I can be familiar with. I made a devilfish, which was, if you remember G.I. Joe, the vintage line, it was the orange and gray little motorboat thing with like missiles and guns on top. So I found steel files for that. I printed that out. So I was trying to get rid of the layer line, so I was trying different things. I tried it a little, like the dabbing acetone and stuff, but I was too heavy-handed. So then I basically started doing sanding, and then getting resin and baby powder and kind of doing layers on that. So that's kind of how I do my post-processing now. And then like I said, during COVID, I was watching all this other stuff like diorama things and stuff. So I have this whole boatload of like XPS foam and a hot wire cutter and all these different paints, airbrush. I'm just grabbing shit left and right, because if I'm going to jump into this, like, I'm going to do all this crap, and I bought all this shit, and then, everyone started going back to work, and I'm like, now I'm trying to scrape time together to do all this stuff. And it's kind of the same way with 3D printing. I kind of just went in there, and I'm like, I'm trying to see all these different things. I'm watching, videos of these guys like printing all this amazing stuff, and I can't do resin just because, one, there's space, and then it's just the chemical smells and all that stuff. I mean, down the workshop, I don't have a lot of ventilation, so I didn't want to venting that down the line. So
resin's a mess. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I like the look of it, but it's just I can't do it. So, but
yeah, I like resin. I'm trying to figure out a way to make it work, but in an apartment, it's also really hard just because I don't know where I would put it. Like, there's no ventilation really for that. Yeah, it's
right.
Like, without a designated space, it's a pain. And then there's so much waste with it too, honestly.
Yeah, that's something I was trying to get familiar with in regards to like with these core XYs and you know how much they poop out and stuff. You try to do multicolor um, prints. So I
Yeah.
try to minimize that a lot. I'll basically try to paint more of what I want, or get the get different color uh, filament and just in those primary colors that I want to have for everything.
Yep.
There's a 1/12 scale articulated mech that I got from RenderBoy 3D that I've been working on as well. So I'm trying to figure out what color schemes I want to do and such. But yeah, it so you we're going back with different brands. Have you gone and used different brands before you found your liking with Anycubic?
I mean, I've I've wanted to explore, but like financially, it's just crazy to do. I almost actually I was considering picking up a bamboo, not the P1, but the other, like the slightly upgraded version of that. It was like $1,000
The
on it.
X1? Yeah.
Yeah, the X1. I was considering picking that up, but I ended up not. I forget what, I think I might have just gotten the Ender 3, which I love.
Mhm.
I need to do a firmware update on that, but that one's tricky because that one's older. It doesn't have the screen on it. But
Right.
then Pete actually got me the Ender 3 V3 KE, which is also awesome. And then going on to Anycubic, and now I have the Cobra 2, I have a Cobra 3 Max, I have the Cobra 3. It's just I'm really enjoying that stuff, but I also do actually have interest in, like, I would like to try a Prusa someday because the way that changes the heads is so fascinating to me.
Mhm.
Um and then I have my Elegoo Giga over here, and that's a line that I don't have anything from except a resin printer that Pete also gave to me.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I started like I said with Reality and the Enders, and while I have a CR10 because
I
of the
have
larger
that too.
bed, it's just been much more of a it's starting to fail on me. So I was definitely at one point looking at like the K1 Max.
Right.
But then I've been seeing all the challenges that people had, and I don't know if this is when it was with the first release of it. But they've had so many beds that are, you know, uneven, you know, and
Okay.
they do their meshes and, you know, trying to see how the variance. And I'm not sure if that's what I want to do for that, because I definitely want to get a larger scale printer. Um, and if I would go with the Max, I mean, it would be enclosed. The Bamboo, the H2, I mean, it's humongous. Um, and then there's also like if I wanted to go on a more budget friendly, there's always the Sovol V8. That one's a
Yeah.
huge bed.
Which
And
one is
again,
that?
that's what the Sovol, the VO or SVO8.
I'm not familiar with that
Um,
one.
they're
Snowball,
very much,
yeah. I was gonna say
yeah, they're kind
Snowball's
of
not
like
as
a
well known.
no, they basically are kind of they're rebuilding from I'm gonna forget the name of basically what they are, but like the brand that starts with the V. Oh, it's gonna
Oh,
kill
the
me. I have to look it up.
Vorons?
Yes, they're basically repurposed and resold Voron printers just at a cheaper price and already kind of prefabricated, so to speak. But they are overall a really good printer. It's just one of those they are like old enders. They are a tinkerer's plaything.
Gotcha.
And and that's one of those like again, it's time on my end. Um, if I want to get into that.
Yeah.
But you know, especially since I'm doing, like I said, a lot of vehicles and play sets for 1/12 scale. Um, and sometimes with these, because I mean, like not looking at the Blitzway Ecto, but I mean, you're looking at the size of that, and
Yeah,
some of
no,
these
but
vehicles that you want to do, they are, you know, 20 inches long by, 10 inches wide. So if you try to print a piece, um, on like a bamboo or anything where it's 256 cube, you're not going to have the space. So
yeah.
I'm trying to find something that's going to be a budget friendly since I have my son that's going to college and I'm paying for that now. So
Yeah.
on that mark, but you know something that's also going to be really reliable. I mean, because the CR10 that I have, it was really going great. And then I moved things around trying to rearrange the basement, and it's never been the same since.
Yeah,
So
True Star Screamer on YouTube just said, CR10, you have failed me for the last time.
I never
That
had
is-
any luck with my CR10, but that's a good Transformers reference.
oh, absolutely. And Dave is one of my other co-hosts for Thursdays, and we've also been doing a lot of interviews on a little episodic thing called Figure Reaction.
Okay.
We do, and that's one of the things that's the better side of collecting, and also what we, in regards to YouTube, is getting to meet a lot of these creators. And that's part of the reason I love going to like conventions here on the East Coast is meeting up with these guys.
Yeah.
And just seeing how they do things. I mean, again, with Etsy and going with what you guys are doing, diorama pieces, I also love doing add-ons for vehicles. So I had the pleasure of working with and collaborating with a gentleman from 𝗪𝗏𝗄𝗏. He has a really cool Etsy store. He does add-ons for, like, say, your HasLabs. For the Dragonfly, he's done some really cool stuff, as well as the 𝗀𝗏𝗃.
Okay,
And then
nice.
Pixis Designs, he does a lot of his own original design vehicle work. And that's kind of one of the things where, like, again, the creative side with 3D printing, and then just the absolute addiction of buying new action figures, they kind of mix together, and it looks really, really cool. So
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot.
If you want to, what day you have the podcast with the other guys? If you want to plug that.
Oh yeah, every Thursday at 9 o'clock we do our Figure Action podcast. That is with myself, True Star Screamer, T-Man 978, and then Parts Former, which is he's Matt. He's our Matt.
Okay.
And we go through news and just a lot of topics in regards to, like, toy collecting. We kind of dabble in a little bit of everything. It's fun because we kind of we do talk about and just show things like from Toy Arc and Toy News. I mean, going over what is coming out with collectors, but a lot of times we've been switching things over to doing more conversationals or specific topics. Yeah, that's our cast there on the weekends. And then, like I said, with Dave, he and I have been kind of doing these figure reaction episodes. And I've also kind of leaned a little more of that on my own channel. I did have the father and son team from Patriot Force, who have a current Kickstarter going on right now for their 1/12 scale.
We talked about those
for Patriot Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this Tuesday, I'm going to be talking with 𝗀𝗲𝗆𝗆 from Wondering Planet Toys. They have a Kickstarter. They've been pros at sending out these Kickstarters in regards to, like, they do a lot of pop culture stuff. Their bread and butter has been with The Prisoner, which is that 1960s TV show. And we first talked to them last year when they had a Kickstarter for their Laurel and Hardy 2-pack for 1/12 scale figures, which that was funded, and I backed
think I remember
those.
that one.
Oh, it's a cool, it's cool little things like that. It's one of those things, like, I can just have a bear, and all this other stuff. Everyone's like, oh, that's neat. Like, that's action figure. That's a war. I remember seeing those.
I need an Abbott and Costello.
I've talked to them about that. That's something they considered as well. I think it's just dealing a lot with the rights and dealing with the
I can imagine
the
estates
family
and everything. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Chuck. Oh, Chuck. Oh, Chuck.
True Starscream says, man, that guy in the hat was good looking.
Some days he's got his white t-shirt on, and it's just it's him. He does his dad jokes, and we all kind of pat him on the head. Thanks, Dave. Then he'll kick me or something like that.
See, when I do it, these guys cringe. Pete enjoys them, but Dan, like, puts another notch on his desk for how many more he can tolerate.
Yeah, right now I have a whole corner missing on my desk because of it.
Well, that could be because you're trying to edging on his shtick for your trio here. He's the joke guy. He's
Yeah.
there. You're the
Thank you.
creative
Somebody
guy.
understands
Pete's
me
the
finally.
marketer.
Thank you.
And
Dan, you're only above average.
Yeah, but you're not on the list.
I am the list.
Oh, okay, Jericho.
Well,
So
I gotta ask you guys,
Yeah.
what new things what new things have you been designing for the website? I mean, I know you guys are asking me questions, but I
was
do this a
kind of
lot.
gonna
I turn
I
it
was
around.
gonna kind of ask you that similar question, like how do you stay motivated and focused to finish projects? Because I can't.
I can't either.
I don't finish anything.
I have, like I said, I have multiple prints in works. I have a bunch of pieces sitting in boxes, and I'm like, I gotta finish these and glue them together. And then I start getting a bunch of stuff around, and my wife gives me the look. And then I'm like, I shove them down the basement. And next thing you know, it's like I can't walk around the basement, so I got to clean it out from there. And by that time, that's when I, following along with some of these toys that I collect, I'm like, oh, there's a new thing. Oh, that's neat. Oh. So
I gotta work. Wait a minute.
yeah. I go to work. Oh, you know, an interactive family. Yeah, it's hard. But knowing that, like I said, this Legions Con convention's in November, and we are now 3/4 of the way through June. It just gets me back to like, I got to get my butt moving and get these things done.
You have a deadline for something, and that definitely helps. But like independent projects, I get it entirely. You're like, I don't feel like working on that right now, or I can't figure out how to make this work. I'm going to work on fixing this. It's
yeah. Well, you just like, you spend 18 hours printing something that you cut, and you have these little, you got your pegs, and you're like, okay, this should just fit right together, and then it stops.
That's
like
partially why That's partially
Mhm.
why I don't print, is because of that exact thing. I'm just like, it's a 24-hour, it's 12-hour print, and it didn't work.
And it's one of those, like, you leave work and you step out to the car to look at your app on your phone just to check on a print, and you see a crap load of spaghetti, and you're like,
Yeah.
shit.
Or you go to Pete's house and you're like, what's going on with that? That might not print out right. And then he's like, no, that'll be fine. Clips the loose thing. And then he sends me a picture of the nozzle just overloaded with gunk. That was 3 years ago.
Blowouts.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My first blowout, I freaked out so much because, like, I'm looking at this and I see this big red blob at the end of this at the end of my ender, and I'm like, oh my God, did I just ruin this? And I'm sitting there talking to my friend Tony, who's got me into this at work. I'm like showing him pictures, and he's like, so what's wrong?
So he's a coworker, God damn it. A coworker that got me into 3D printing too, yeah.
So it's yeah. Deadlines and such. I can do it. I can do it great at work. I do it okay until here at home life, until my wife tells me, hey, are you going to get this done? Or are you going to go get, we got vacation in a couple weeks. Did you get all this stuff? I'm like, oh, I'll get to it. I'll get it. And then it's the last minute, or we're going to have people over for the house, and it's, oh, hey, they're going to be here in 3 hours. Did you clean this, and this? Oh, no. So then I'm rushing around doing that. But yeah, it's hobby stuff. It's one of those things, oh, I'll open this box and do it sometime, and then it just sits here for weeks.
Yeah. I actually bought an iPad a little while ago, because I do primarily use Blender, but I want to mess with more software like Nomad and Shaper and their tablet centric software.
Are you and Pete, are you both trying to just design your own new stuff, or do you take something and try to tweak around just to make it your own, or work things through? I mean, I'm looking at the arcades. Was that something that was like a pre-design, or did you like actually go back? Oh, my camera auto zooms, so yay. But like things like the arcades, did you actually go find some old arcades and measure them out, or do you like look up and research these, or do you just kind of say, I think it's close to this, and I just start making these things? Because you guys have a variety of different products in your website, and I'm like, figuring out and measuring all this stuff. I mean, that's why I'm in all of these things. And normally I did pick up one of your Wii box from Thunderbolts, and then I get asked like, "Hey, where'd you get that?" "Oh, it's sold out. Are they going to make more?" I don't know. Message those guys and see what's going on. So it's ah
So when I first started, it was definitely winging it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just making models and seeing how it worked. And then I got this crazy idea to do an arcade. And we went with the first model chassis for, I think we changed it last year is when we finally started doing the upgrades to it, such as the wider marquee, the hole for the lights in the back, different screen displays. Now we're trying to aim for a full blackout effect so you don't have any light bleed on there. But the first one was definitely just for kicks, and we were gluing paper to the side of those original arcades and using super glue. And over time, it's crazy how the methods change. And you like, at least me, I get obsessed with these things. Like I tweak, I tweak, I tweak. So
so these are now vinyl stickers that you're putting on these arcades, correct? I'm trying to
yeah,
get
this
my
this
camera to zoom
monster
back out.
printer. I don't know if you can see this big boy right
He
here.
bought a whole special machine
Mhm.
specifically for that. Well,
Yeah.
not just for that. Let me rephrase that so Pete doesn't get killed. He bought a machine that has a whole bunch of capabilities, and that happens to be one of them.
Okay. See, I was gonna hopefully have you guys say, "Oh, well, my wife has a Cricut, and we got these vinyl stickers, and we just cut them out from there and put them on." Because that's where I was looking at
I
my
was
wife's. I'm like, "Oh,
proposing.
I'm gonna do the same thing."
I was
So,
proposing going that route because I have a Cricut. I've never used it.
mhm.
But the vinyl that he's using for the arcades and everything now is a better adhesive. It's like designed for like jet
Snowmobiles.
skis and
Yeah.
snowmobiles. It's a
Yeah, I
heavy
mean,
vinyl.
and I will say, like I said, the detail on this thing for this Area 51, which I love and constantly playing around with the guns and have my guys looking at it. I mean, just everything on it is just spot on. So I mean,
Thank you.
excellent job for this
Thank you.
feat.
That's
So
that's 6 years of tweaking. I wish I had kept some of the originals just so you could see the progression over time. Like at one point we were using bendy wire for the guns. The old control panels used to be like a half an inch thick versus
mhm.
recently we updated to the box design, which is more true to how the arcades look. The wider marquee again, which is more true to how they look. But it's been like this obsessive, like, how do I make this more realistic? How do I get people to look at this and say, is this a picture of a prop or is this the real thing? Like what that's what I was aiming for. And I think I'm finally getting to that point because I didn't want to use a regular paper printer to do the vinyl decals, which is what we were kind of doing a couple years ago, which was it worked fine. It's just to me, it's always like, how do I make this better? How do I
Yeah.
make this better? And
Mhm.
I get obsessed with it. So I was finally looking at the cost ratio of like, all right, well, if I buy this huge vinyl printer, is it going to make sense in the long run? I can cut out the middleman for the guy that designs my stickers. I could start doing packaging on the side. Now I can make the decals. The big moment for and Matt can attest to this. It was last year's or 2 years ago when we did the Awesome Con
It was
and
like for
we were
2024.
we were cutting everything by hand and like getting panicking like we're not going to make this deadline. And it was like,
That
Mhm.
sucked.
how do you get rid of that? Because that's the biggest time consumption on any order for us. So one order will come in, and I used to panic, like because this thing does take a while to put together, to hand cut all these designs out, and sometimes they're not intricate enough, or you might mess up on the cut, and then you have to reprint it and retry it again. So this eliminates
Mhm.
not only a lot of that time, but a lot of that waste, but also enhances the quality without adding cost to the consumer. So those are the things that I kind of like think about when I'm trying to design these things or decide if a new piece is good enough or not good enough, but will work in the cog of the way we manufacture things here. For example, we're looking at the Eufy make moving forward, and I think that's going to bring another exciting level of stuff that we could add to the store.
Yeah, I think that machine, if it works the way I want it to, it could be huge. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
really cool
So
potential with that.
so you guys kind of mentioned it earlier in different parts when you were saying Virginia and stuff. Now you guys are kind of all in that same, without going into too much detail, but like in the same area of Virginia.
Yeah, I
Essentially,
live like 40 minutes from him.
Okay. All right. And so then for the store, I mean, you guys kind of made it sound like you're both, the three of you are kind of working together in regards to building materials and, like you said, designing these things. So it's kind of like it's not just, what I was kind of first imagining were like, you guys were, one guy was doing the designing, the other guy was doing the manufacturing and printing, and then uploading stuff onto the website and everything. You guys are really collaborating a lot with a lot of your product and your website, correct?
It's Pete.
Oh, it's all Pete, huh?
Three of us here. It's Pete.
yeah, but that does. I don't want to take away from them. Everybody adds something. So
Yeah,
Matt is
no,
like the
I'm not trying
personality.
to.
Dan is the backbone for our lives. It's we can't do it without each other. So
But yeah, no, it's Pete. I have two things on the website: the minigun and then the camera, unless they've been pulled down.
the camera's definitely still up. I think the minigun is down.
Yeah,
Because
man, I
you had mentioned something like I could do so much of a better job at this minigun. And I was like, say less. Take down.
Well, that was the first thing I designed with Blender was the minigun, and just looking at how I did that, like, oh man, I could. Yeah, there's so many ways that could be improved. But now I'm like working on designing like vehicles and 1/18th scale dio pieces, and I need to get my printers down to my new apartment so that I could start trying to do some test prints on those to see if that interlocks the way I want it to. Because essentially, I want to be able to make a building, interior, exterior, and have it be multiple floors if anyone wanted to do that. Like
Well,
where Pete goes into that, I get so stuck on detail as well and what I want it to do. And if it can't do what I want it to do, then I start over or figure out a way to make it do that. But the other problem is I don't want something that has like 1,000 little pieces in it for people to lose or for it to become problematic to do. So I don't know. I mean, what I've been working on for like the 1/18th scale diode set, it has like a little key thing, but otherwise everything largely interlocks with each other. And it should be scalable, so I could print like 1-inch walls and then 3-inch walls and even like 8-inch walls if I wanted to. And yeah.
Well, I think there was one request that I saw on your webpage that, there's no arcade for Ghostbusters or a one that's like scaled properly that you can put a figure in there to look like they're driving the Ecto-1. So we're going to have to make a bunch of those for Dan, so you can just buy them all.
There's a Ghostbusters arcade. It's on the shelf behind Pete or behind Dan. We had it at the con.
He was
But
actually,
is it the driving? Is the one that you
It's
can?
not a driving one.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, that's the next step.
I didn't know they made a driving one. So we have a form on the website. If anybody has recommendations, let me know.
Yeah.
We don't do customs per se, but if you do have an existing arcade that is not on the website, we're more than happy to make it.
Yeah, like what I was telling people at the con is we don't do customs, but we don't want to say no. So I mean,
Right.
if you have an idea for something or something that you're looking for, shoot us an email and we'll kind of figure out how we can see if it's something that we can make work.
Mike, it
Okay.
kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier. Like it's a timing thing also. So
Yeah.
when we were doing customs, it had to put everything else on the back burner, and I had to focus on this one thing. And then they kick it back, and you have to make tweaks. They kick it back, you make tweaks. It's like, all right, are you happy with this now? I'm like, all right, well, we got to move on to this next step. And then
Yeah.
so we just took it off because it's not that I can't meet a deadline. It's just I like to function at my own pace, and I felt like it was throwing a wrench in that whole like my flow basically.
I totally understand. I was being more facetious in regards to like just getting something Ghostbusters for Dan because
Oh no, he already took care of
he has
that.
such passion.
Yeah, he has that back there.
Yeah.
He took care.
Dan
I'm
mentioned
not.
it. It was like you should make the arcade, and I was like, I didn't even know they had one. So thank you.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Pay him no mind.
see.
He wanted attention.
And Dan was actually a contributor for the final artwork. So I redo all the artwork on every single arcade cabinet myself. And the hard part with that is a lot of these cabinets were made in the 90s or 2000s when the resolution for these pictures was much lower. So
Right.
we either have to recreate them in certain aspects or we use upscaling techniques to try to get it to be sharper.
Yeah.
In some of those
Good boy.
instances, it doesn't always work out. So I have to hand draw or basically trace a blown up image and try to recreate this artwork to keep it as how do you say
Authentic.
yeah, authentic as possible. Yes.
Very cool. See, and that's kind of one of the things I love when I'm sitting down and doing these things with creative people and getting behind the scenes. I'm like, all right, well, you see this end product, but you don't. Here's how long it took me to get this done, and that you said 6 years of printing and putting these items together, these diorama pieces. It's an evolution, definitely. I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool to like hear all the things like the good and bad, the ugly side of things, like you said, the 12-hour plus print that doesn't work or anything. So it's very cool, isn't it? So Keith, the backdrop you have there behind you, are those prints that you've done as well, or is that just other stuff that you bought from other individuals, like
Uh,
your clouds, the skyline, things
it's a
like
mixture
that?
of both. It's a mixture of both. So this was a printout that I created for the Awesome Con to make like a theme for the tombstones that we had just put out.
Mhm.
The dock that's sitting right in front of it was a foam project that I did for my son several years ago. But I kind of wanted to touch like more on like these are basically backgrounds for Awesome Con essentially.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's some purchase pieces. Like I did a squat rack that didn't sell too well, so I took it off the site. We did some lockers. I kind of want to revisit those because I think I can make them just a hair better than before.
Yeah.
Especially with the vinyl printer. Now we could put like nice little like signs on there that says like A1 or something like that for the locker. But the reason I want the Eufy make is because I know it could print on 3D prints. And the one thing that and you could ask Matt again, I've not I haven't been as happy as I'm 100% happy with the way the soda machines are put together. So I've been always trying to like tweak that around. And now I'm realizing maybe I could do one piece with like a clear background and then print the logo. And then I can get that curved look that I've always wanted because it's hard to get the decal curved without it like popping out or wanting to split or jump out of the channel that it's currently in. And channels are cool, but they could be problematic if you make the wrong cut or if something's not 100% correct. So hopefully with the Eufy is we can get that curved surface with the printed on logos on there. Some of the other stuff that I'm thinking, and this is just thinking ahead, like a lot of people's like, oh, why don't you weather some of the things on there or put some tags on there and make it more like grimy? And to me, that's not for me. I prefer the cleanest one possible and like leave it up to the consumer on how they want it to look.
Mhm.
But with the Eufy make, I could dial in a weathering and then print it on there, which is a hope. We don't know yet, but
You're not gonna be able to print the curve thing the way you want to. I'm telling you now, you're not gonna be able to print the curved surface the way you want to.
we'll see.
Hmm.
I don't see it happening.
Even if I can't do the curved surface, it's still a option to get rid of using a channel and a piece of paper.
Well, worst case Ontario is you print it on plastic and then you just flex the plastic.
Mm, also
And
true.
you're saying basically take like a blister card from like a Legends and then just heat that up and manipulate it around to curve it as you wish.
Yeah,
Is that what you're thinking, Matt?
he doesn't use those. I've been hoarding like that plastic packaging for reuse. He uses other plastic, but I have in a box. Like I buy the World of Halo figures that Jazzwares keeps fucking up. Um,
Hmm.
and I take all the plastic out of the packaging and I just have those like stacked because I want to cut like windows and stuff out of them. Yeah.
And that's what I do with like Legends and Valiver
Yeah.
stuff. Now that he went to blister cards, I have a bag full of that stuff that
Yeah.
I'll cut and I can always, glaze it with a little bit of a Mod Podge and like whatever color I want to tint the plastic, and that's what I've been dabbling around with.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely have a bunch of those saved because I'm like this is good clear plastic that I can definitely reuse. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So there's the one. Your YouTube's missing one thing. Is it crafting or building?
It is both. It is both. And again, I picked that name because I was like, oh, I'm going to sit there and do all this diorama stuff and everything else, and it all comes down to time. But like I said,
Yeah.
this is once I get dialed in with a bunch of my other stuff, because a lot of other creators, including the guys I'm with every week, they do a lot of really amazing toy things, and so like we're all doing the same stuff at one time. So
Yeah.
and I haven't been pushing out as much content lately just because of life and stuff, but I've been really looking at like, all right, do I want to, do more of like these build things, and especially if I can get my prints dialed in, just start showing that stuff, or taking, foam and, like with the doc that Pete was showing, make something along those lines and just break it up, and then that's like kind of steady content going through.
Yeah.
So I've been with this project for November. I've been filming different segments, and then I have my time lapses. So it's kind of just keeping these things together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the part I'm missing overall. Is
I
just
just
some of that
remember.
creative side. I mean, I did do some stuff in regards to like dyeing figures. That was actually that was a lot of fun because I had never done it before. But that video actually was pretty popular because it was something different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I mean, it seems to be weird what actually hits, but like, yeah, when you're doing something that everyone's like, this is definitely new, that tends to pique interest. I just remember the one time on our one of our podcasts, you said that people accuse your channel of not having enough building or something, and I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple comments at times that were basically asking the same question, like, "Hey, when are you actually going to craft and build some stuff?" I'm like, "Oh, you son of a bitch." Yeah, I'll take care of it. But it was also, if it's a legitimate question, something like that, then I'm good with that. But at the time, that person was kind of being a little more malicious
Yeah.
and stuff, and that's kind of like another part of the community is, there's still a lot of there's good people, then there's those that want to just, gaslight and antagonize some things. And I mean, it's the same thing with everywhere else. And
Sure.
it's I'm sure as you guys find out in the collecting community, whether it's within the 112 scale action figure stuff, it's turning more and more like a Coke or Pepsi situation. It's like, do you like Hasbro and hate indie groups? Are you a fan of one individual independent company who doesn't like another independent company? And then, it's so convoluted at times. And then you
Yeah.
got those that are dedicated to that one brand that like, oh, well, if you like Pepsi, but I'm a Coke guy, I'm gonna dog you all over the place because you like Pepsi. It's silly. I mean, it is. And I can't say I'm innocent about it, because there was when I started, viewing a lot of these things and started getting involved with these different communities. There was, with Transformers, the third party stuff. We were mentioning earlier Fans Hobby, who does a lot of third party Transformer stuff. And they're great products.
Yeah.
But then there's another company, Fans Toys, which is kind of like the premier third party stuff, because they use die cast in there a lot in their figures, and
Okay.
it's all premium type of stuff. But there's that big animosity between them and X-Trans bots, in regards to the fans. Like the company, it's just like anything else. Any of these corporations, they all sit there and talk to each other and like laugh at like, the fan bases that are going after each other. And I mean, it's the same thing within the reading some of the forums, researching 3D printers. There is the Prusa group
Yeah.
that kind of like look down upon everyone else, and then if you say you have a Creality printer, half the people are like, "Oh, okay, I have that too," or the other half are like, "Oh, you went with one of those. How many problems have you had?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to figure out how to dial in this stuff," and
Oh.
it's funny in a way, and it's easy to get caught up into it.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm not innocent about it. But now, I basically like just taking more of an opportunity to highlight personalities, and that's why I love doing these interviews with like Kickstarter groups and stuff, because they're just kind of
That's really
they're
cool.
they're creating something pure and unique. Um, we had I'm so familiar. There's another group. One of the gentlemen actually lives in Virginia, from Brutal Realm Toys, and they're making like a 7-inch type of figure. They had a successful Kickstarter, and so talking to those guys, and then you see them at these conventions, and like, oh, I remember you. You had a lot of really great questions and stuff, and that's kind of like what I like to do more than sit there and say, hey, look, here's a Dave mentioned earlier, here's a blocky transformer. It does this. It's pretty cool. It's good to give your opinion on things, and sometimes it's a lot of great feedback. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
trying to find something unique.
I mean, we do get great feedback at the conventions too. Like Matt was told that he should make a Red Bull truck a couple times.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know if you remember that, Matt. Red Bull truck.
Yeah, I remember that Punisher.
Yeah. But the other thing is, like, as far as the toy beefs go, I think it's hilarious. At the end of the day, we are old grown men arguing over toys and 3D printers. And like, to me, like, if the Prusa community is just like, you have a Creality Ender 3, I'm like, yeah, at least I know how to fix it if it breaks. What are you gonna do?
Well, when he was talking about the printer groups, there's like, oh, you're any cubic? I got an email from Mark earlier. Like, okay, Prusa.
Yeah, and it's like, it's the same thing with like the influencers within the 3D printing community. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you got Frankly built.
Oh yeah. I watch his stuff.
I
He
forget
makes
what I watch him.
cosplay stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Him, and then of course there's Uncle Jesse, and then I think it's Mead Made, something like that, Chris, with like the little handlebar mustache. It's like anything else. Like, you start researching these people and kind of figure out which ones are blowing smoke up their tail and which ones really know what they're talking about. And it's a process. And then, you see, you start reading the comments and such. It's crazy. But kind of what you're saying, it's one of the things you kind of shake your head, like, why are these people, why do we argue with each other about things? And I go back to talking to like I said, the team from this Kickstarter for Patriot Force. The father, Ryan, and I have been talking a lot since our interview, and he's like, yeah, I've been surprised, like some of the comments about, hey, why are you making this, and why did you give this person this product review when you should have gave it to this person? He's like, I don't know what these people think. Like, they expect me to know all these names and stuff. He's like, I'm just trying to get my son and I to get a toy line out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how many clicks there get exposed.
Yeah. But it's like, everyone's going to have their own preferences. Everyone has their own likes for different things. And I, go around and say that the best thing, like, you can disagree with stuff. And if you're familiar with who you're talking to, like, I can sit there and talk with Dave and T-Man, and like say, they're talking about Transformers stuff. I'm not into it anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. Or I might say some sort of jokey thing about it and not worry about getting blasted on, social saying, oh, look at what this guy said on this stream and stuff. I mean, it still happens, but anyway, better and brighter things.
Yeah. I think the most recent beef that I did kind of like dip my finger in was everybody was talking about how great the Maximum Spider-Man was, and I was like, well, the Mafex came out, and to me that looks like it jumped right out the comic book, and it could do everything the Maximum line could do for the same price. Like, my
Mhm.
biggest gripe with the Maximum line wasn't that the figure was released, it was that the price that they were asking for originally, I thought was a hair too
Mhm.
much. I get that they made advancements in the mobility of the figure, which is
Mhm.
fantastic. But to charge an import price for a domestic figure, to me, is kind of wild. And then again, like you were mentioning, it's not so much like fanboys, but people not like, I wouldn't say watching what they're saying, but generalizing everything. So like, oh, this is the best Spider-Man to be released. I'm like, actually, this figure's pretty great. Like maybe you should check it out.
Honestly, I think the
Right.
best Spider-Man figure released was SHF, and it was released years ago. That thing, I don't remember what it was from, and I don't have it anymore, but that figure had amazing posability, but I
Mm.
sold it.
Mhm.
I will say that
And
Maximum can ab crunch like a mofo. That was the one thing that
yes.
I noticed off break that it could beat the Mafex and no problem.
And then a lot of people are really dedicated to talking about, using ball pegs for everything, which is kind of what you see with a lot of these import stuff. But that's some of the criticisms as well is, Hasbro is the toy manufacturer within the US, but they're still using a lot of antiquated articulation. And kind of go with the Maximum conversation with it. I always thought that, the Spider-Man, it looked cool, but it was more than what I was expecting. But it was funny how, they were never mentioning the price, but then everyone was speculating. And then I swear they're kind of like, oh, well, we have it thinking it maybe they were saying 60, but then everyone's like, oh, I'll buy it at 50, so why not? I think they did stumble a lot whenever they went and brought out that second figure in regards to that hook, because a lot of it was not the same process, like they did with Spider-Man with a lot of new tooling. It was basically a lot of rehash. And it
Yeah,
got a fair amount of not hate, but criticism. It's still, because another coworker, he let me borrow his. I think it's sitting somewhere down here by my legs. And it's not bad, but it's just to me aesthetically it doesn't look right compared to some of the stuff they already had provided already. And then speaking about imports and stuff, a lot of the things that I've been looking at recently. Oh, and something else I forgot that just popped in was minus the box. The
Oh yeah.
CT Toys Gambit came in this week. And it's funny, before like we're saying third party, fourth party bootlegs, and I kind of chuckle when I say that because, like I said, as a Transformers collector, as an adult, all this third party and fourth party masterpiece Transformer stuff, that's still all an IP infringement, so to speak. They're just doing enough to change it or rename. But I'm sure I was curious about these things first because aftermarket Mayfect stuff for like Wolverine and that was a little more than what I was looking for. And finding these as a more budget friendly option, if you're willing to look at some, there could be some minor imperfections and stuff, but this guy, he really works out and fits in well with like my official Mayfect stuff as well as, you know, um, like I said, I got the math version of the Venom guy. So putting them in my photography and stuff, it kind of really it opens up a different option. But then you get those guys who are like, oh, you bought this bootleg version. Well, it's not as good as this $150 one that I bought like 4 years ago. That's now $200. I'm like, you're right. It may not be, but it does it for me.
right.
So
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on the bootleg figures. I don't really like to like advertise them too much, but like
Mhm.
I totally get why. I mean, like you said, the aftermarket's insane for some things.
I mean, and it can go on. It can flip on a dime with you because, like, I was trying to sell some transformer stuff on eBay that before was like so everyone and their brother was trying to get it and the prices were nuts. And then I
Yeah,
finally got it. I'm like, all right, well maybe I'll do this now. And then at that same time, that company's re-releasing the figure, so it just bottoms out the whole aftermarket. And
yeah,
then you're stuck like, all right, well, crap, what am I gonna do? So, but
yeah. Um, Outside of your big thing for November, are there any personal projects that you're working on that you're particularly excited about, or
excuse me. This big project I've been working on has been kind of like the main thing. I'm trying
yeah,
to work with, and then talking back to the designer, Tanner 3D. He and I have been talking a lot about tweaking things here and there, especially with upscaling stuff, because he was more 1/18 scale. Otherwise, it's just doing diorama pieces for photography. It's like I said, I have all this stuff, but it's one of those things like you got to do it repetitively to kind of get better at it. So that's where I want to make up time and stuff. And then another thing is playing around with photo editing. At one point I was trying to play with Photoshop and Adobe, and I know that's another word that, like, you say Adobe and everyone's going through, and I found some other open source options to start tweaking around what I like to do. So because I was really hesitant with a lot of social media stuff, but Instagram, once I got into that and playing around just throwing pictures, I mean, that's kind of where, like I was saying before, like between building some stuff and that, it's taking pictures and really enjoying them, trying to get that one special pose and going around or building a scene. So that's kind of where I'm dabbling a lot with different things, and then trying to make sure I don't have always fall on top of me inadvertently.
Yeah.
And thinning that out.
Hey, you can't stack. That's a precarious stacking job. I will say.
It is very scary, to say the least, because it's leaning into the detox. So it's gonna have to go this week, to say the least. So, but yeah. But other than that, I mean, the other things I'm playing around with is more just doing stuff with the family and trying to get, seeing all the different pop culture stuff. Did you guys see the Toxic Avenger trailer that came out?
I didn't see the trailer.
With Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Yes. Very funny.
I saw the original. I'm good. I don't need to. I'm not really into gore unless it's like video game. Like I'll play violent, scary video games. Not really into that for movies though.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah, you are, Mr. Terrifier. All about that.
Well, then has there been stuff that's been shown or coming out that you're interested in, Matt? Like what's pop culture like for you?
I'm excited. I need to see 28 years later. Dan saw it, said it that he liked it a lot. He's willing to see it a second time. I'm excited to see what Gareth Edwards' Jurassic Park movie is like, because I like his Godzilla movie. I like Rogue One. I like The Creator. So I'm curious to see what he does with that, because Jurassic Park was one of the movies that made him get into showbiz, like into that whole thing when he was working in the support roles on films. Fantastic Four, I want to see it, but like that's not the top of my list.
Right.
I'm looking forward to season 2 of Peacemaker.
Okay.
Because the first season's great. I really enjoy John Cena a lot, even though he is retiring from wrestling, I'm guessing, is the pipe bomb, Dan?
Oh, I thought he went bad recently.
He went bad, but he's getting old. He's getting too old.
That's not what the pipe bomb. That's not the pipe bomb. He's already announced his retirement and he's on his farewell tour. But he recreated a promo that CM Punk did almost word for word on purpose last Friday.
Oh, okay.
And that reference is the original promo was a pipe bomb that that CM Punk dropped after he laid John Cena out. John Cena turned the tables on him, knocked him out, and recreated the promo and turned it back in his face. And it was actually beautifully done. But right now he is the world champion, and I think he's done before the end of the year. So they're doing that all it's worth. 28 years later, Matt, if gore's not your thing, it kind of tripled on it on this one. So there's a warning for you.
I still want to see it. I like the other ones. I don't know.
I'm just letting you know. And I will say this: I absolutely loved this movie, and it felt very much like the first one, and I will see it over and over again. And like I said, without off air, without giving anything away, man, do they leave it wide open. I mean, this is supposed to be a pre-planned trilogy. The next one's coming out in January something.
Already?
Maybe it's 2026. I'll double check that in a second.
Can't be 2026. That's way too soon.
Yeah.
Because that means they've already wrapped filming.
Well, let's see.
Is this the one that has? Is that Aaron Taylor?
That is Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yep.
Yep.
And if you think, release January 2026. Don't fucking. I know. I just read it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's when I told you earlier off air that they better be done filming already. A, because the release date's soon, and B, that's how much the end's like. What? I need more now. So we'll see. Excellent movie. I love it. I certainly loved it better than the second one.
Okay.
I like the second one a lot. Jeremy Renner's in it, and I like Jeremy Renner a lot.
Don't hate the second one. That's how much more I loved this. It blew my expectations away. And like I said, I can't say enough. Wherever idea the trailer has for you,
I've been involved in trailers. I only saw the first one that we went over.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Ray Fiennes is a gem, by the way, folks.
I'm bummed that they haven't started filming The Last of Us Season 2 second half, because I want to just watch that already because I want to see Abby's episodes. Anything coming out that you're excited about?
I know the kids want to go see Superman next month.
Oh yeah, Superman. Dan and I are gonna see an early premiere of that. Actually, I got an email for like a early screening, so we're gonna go see that.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, and we'll probably do a little bit of a spot after that to just kind of say like how we felt about it and everything, like real quick thing, but just say how we felt about it. But yeah, I'm excited. I totally forgot about that movie.
Okay, so I mean, is it just because it's James Gunn? Is it just the whole? It gives a different vibe from that very first trailer, with him striking, down to the ground and such. I think each one of these trailers and reveals, I think they've done a really smart job in like keeping it vague enough where you want to go in and see all these different things. And then hopefully before you go to Target and then you see the pop figures, they kind of ruin all these different aspects of it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. That reminds me when the what was it? The Force Awakens. Yeah, when the Force Awakens came out, my friend had that spoiled for him because in a toy group there was a Han Solo figure with a lightsaber sticking out of its chest.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Like, that's how the movie got spoiled for him.
Yeah.
It's horrible, yeah, but it's also kind of funny. And then Pete actually posted Han dies in Tokyo Drift.
you guys are reprehensible.
Honestly, I like DC. I want to see more DC stories. Like I rewatched Death of Superman, and I watched Reign of the Superman afterwards, and it would be cool to see some of that also make it to the big screen. Like we had a little hint of Batman vs Superman, the Frank Miller. We had like hints of that kind of in Batman vs Superman, but I just want to see more of the comic book stories be brought to the screen, and I want to see them do more things with them. Like I want to see Darkseid, and I want to see Doomsday. Like I want to see Doomsday, not like Pete was saying it, not what's his face, like Zod resurrected into this weird alien monster. Like I want to see a Doomsday with the proper lore.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree. That's something WB doesn't really push out enough because I mean their cinematic releases are really awesome, really well done. I mean, I have like pretty much all their stuff here, and like I said, showing some of these to Julian and such, and he really gets into these items, especially like they're not afraid to like cross over with other stuff. Like one of his favorite ones is like the Batman and the Turtles. You know, that crossover
Yeah,
movie they did. That was really cool.
Pete was mad about that.
Oh, really?
I didn't like the art style. I hated it.
You were mad because Batman beat the hell out of Shredder or something like that.
Oh yeah. I was like, Shredder's supposed to be like the master of a dojo in Japan that has hit lineage of like martial arts training, just to get mopped by Batman. Like,
You see
If
Shredder
it
getting
had-
his own.
no. It was the Turtles that got mopped by Batman.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that pissed me off too. It was almost like when I read the first couple pages, it was like seamless. Like they didn't even try. I was like, what's going on here?
Did you see that Shredder's getting his own comic?
As he
Really?
should. He really should.
He is.
He's an interesting dude.
Yeah,
I see where that art style kind of can get different. I mean,
Oh, I just realized
compared to
that's
some
from
of the
the
other stuff
movie.
they've done. Yeah.
Yeah, duh. Come on, Pete.
I don't watch a lot of animated stuff really.
No.
I
it's
need
one
to
of those
watch.
things like
I need to
I'll
watch
put it in the
Pantheon.
background.
Apparently, Pantheon on Netflix is really good.
Mopped.
yeah.
Watch. He's about to get fucking mopped. This is
It's only
so
2
dumb.
seasons, so that should be easy enough. But
Oh,
Yeah,
it's hard. I mean, look at some of this stuff, and then after you watch like Invincible and whatnot, you know, that's kind of like been my go-to for some of this anime stuff.
I like Invincible, but the illustration, the art style for that feels lazy to me.
Yeah. Well, season 3 was very. I can see the style was much faster than like the very first season.
I didn't even get that far. I'm
granted
still
to-
on season 2, I think.
Oh, okay.
Well-
Yeah, I like stopped watching it.
Speaking of animation news on the Ghostbusters animated front, it's supposed to be animation very similar to the Spider-Verse.
Really,
So that'll be interesting. Yeah,
Oh.
that'll be
Someone's
really
gonna give
interesting.
half the viewers migraine.
Yeah, well.
See, you're making Pete upset over here now. He's watching this and not
I
the
like
same.
seeing Shredder getting his ass kicked. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, but he gets mopped. He gets mopped.
Yeah, he got mopped. He got dog walked by Batman. I mean, Batman was trained by the League of Assassins. I mean, it's
right,
not-
and that's
he's
cool
no
in his
bitch.
universe. Right, but this guy's the leader of the Foot Clan.
well, the Foot Clan always get their ass kicked, so that tracks.
Yeah, but why isn't Daredevil coming in? Because now Batman
That's
exists in the
Marvel!
same universe as Daredevil.
That's
But
Marvel.
the turtles were created by the same ooze that created Daredevil. Dan,
It's Marvel. It's not the same.
He's
stuck in
different
the comic book.
He's stuck in the TVA right now.
Oh,
He's
what was
holding the TVA because they were trying to figure out the spaceship from the Federation that came back into the past, and they're trying to understand Vulcans. So,
earlier I rewatched Godzilla -1, and I was looking up something, and there was a Reddit comment about. I don't know if you saw. Did you see that movie?
I did, yeah.
You lagged a little bit. I don't know if it's my connection or not.
Oh,
no, he said he did.
how's this now?
You did see -1 or no? Actually,
Yes, I did.
It's. I don't want to spoil it for these other two guys. They haven't seen it.
I'm never going to see that movie.
Well, at the end, Noriko has that little bit of black stuff coming up her neck. And there's speculation about what that leads to. And then someone saying, so now she has regenerative powers and she's radioactive. And just someone said, so like, oh, so Noriko's going to be Lady Deadpool in Deadpool 3?
Oh,
It wasn't that great of a, it wasn't worth it, but whatever. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay. You're forgiven.
So Peter, you're gonna take your children to go see How to Train Your Dragon live action this time?
Probably not.
Live action with still still computer animated dragons.
My son,
Yes.
and I tell him this every time. Like I try to like test him at home while we watch movies, and he is just yapping through the whole thing. And he's asking all these questions. I'm like, bro, I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm sitting right next to you. We're watching the movie together. Just watch it. And we went to see Captain America: Brave New World, and my man fell asleep. So I was like, "You are the worst person to go watch movies with. I'm not taking you anywhere." And then my daughter's 2, so I'm not taking her.
Yeah,
not yet.
Yeah.
She's 2 now.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's what happens. You age up.
She'll be 2 in July.
1 to 2, and 3, and then comes 4.
I thought she was only 1.
Yeah, she is till July.
Apparently, yes. Yeah.
So she's about to be 2.
Yeah. She's a treat too. I love her. It's my girl.
She's cute.
No, it's funny. Like, and this might be TMI, but everybody was telling me like, oh, when you have a daughter, she's gonna have you wrapped around your finger. I said, yeah, right. You know what? I got my son. My son's awesome. I don't care. And it wasn't like to like put down my daughter or anything like that. But man, the love you get from
Put
a
her
girl.
down?
No. But the love you get from a girl is just something crazy different. Like the sincerity of it. It's I don't know. She got me. Everybody's right. It happened.
Everybody's right.
Just wait till she starts turning 7 and starts getting sassier.
That's okay.
Yeah,
She's
like-
a little sassy pants too.
Is she easier or more difficult than Grayson? I mean, she's
the answer
still
to that one.
still really young. Well, typically, a lot of people say the second one's easier.
I will say, like everybody talks about, like, oh, they're a product of their environment and stuff like that. I will say that's true, probably, but there's also a natural demeanor that these kids were born with. Grayson has always been very rebellious, very loud, very like ready for the action. Right. And then Brooklyn, on the other hand, although she kind of wants that spotlight, she'll be the first one to like stop, time out. Here, why don't you have a cookie with me, Dad? Here's a hug. Let's go dance. Let's go do our thing.
I'm still here. My video crapped out on me all of a sudden. Apologize.
Not a problem.
All right. Dan and Pete left a few times because they're super cool and polite and everything like that.
Well, I went to go grab the Spider-Man figures. I was trying to show off the Mayfexes
There we go.
versus the Maximum. And I'm not saying, like I said, I don't want you to think that I'm hating on the Maximum, like he looks bad. It's just, to me, these are more definitive in my head than this guy. Although he does have an awesome ass crunch.
Yeah, it comes down to, like, again, how the articulation and recreating something that you might have, you might remember from a certain panel of a comic. And while it does have a lot of good joints and stuff, there's some things that it's a look of it. A look of an import, especially a Mayfex Spider-Man, doesn't have like a lot of the super obvious cuts in the torso because they use ball pegs for everything. The arms and stuff, yeah, you can definitely see it. And then just how they do like the wrist and stuff are different than what you expect from, or what you normally get from Hasbro or any of these other companies. So it's aesthetics and just flow as well.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to heat up. You don't have to heat up a Mayfex like you have to do sometimes with a Hasbro or some of these other independent things like a Four Horsemen.
Even NECA. Like NECA needs to be heated up a lot, it seems.
To this day, yeah.
Yeah. Like I have the 18-inch Pacific Rim Jaegers, and oh my god, I need to heat up Cherno Alpha's foot to get it to move at all. And the head comes off and you put the batteries in it. But I had to bash the head back on to the ball peg because it wouldn't go on. Like I had to hit the thing concerningly hard, and I was like, I'm gonna break it. And that's what I had to do to get it to snap into place. I was like, it shouldn't be like that.
Crazy. Shouldn't hit your toys like that.
You shouldn't have to, but
It's toy abuse.
I had to. But uh some of those 18-inch NECA figures, like I have the Kratos from God of War and I have a Master Chief that's that size too, and they're awesome. So good.
Hasbro's come such a long way, man. I gotta
Mm.
say that. Like just collecting the 6 years that I was in this crystal painting on the face. I don't know. This is not gonna
Oh,
zoom
is
in.
that the new one?
Yeah. This face looks fantastic.
Yeah, their digital face paint. I will say that Hasbro's sculpting for their faces and their heads. They are there's like zero competition.
Yeah.
Especially amongst the teams. Like the head sculpts for Legends, spot on. I mean, they're you know between I don't say there's competition amongst their teams, but I mean the G.I. Joe team seems so dedicated to what they do, and knowledgeable and stuff, but they kind of get at the same or a little less view than the Marvel Legends team, which is totally fine because that's something I think Hasbro, and this is one of the topics I'm going to have on a show here soon, is I think Hasbro really misses the mark sometimes with utilizing different media. Like when can we say like the last G.I. Joe cartoon was out? I mean, that was like I think mid 2000s. And how many Transformer cartoons and movies have we seen, comparatively?
Yeah,
And without, I mean, I don't know. Go ahead.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to like reinvigorate the GI Joe franchise at all, because we got those two movies which I thought were terrible. I didn't even watch the second one,
Mm-hmm.
but why haven't they tried to like revive that at all? I mean, franchises are where it's at right now, and maybe it's because there's such
Well,
a
and
big
that's the thing.
cast. I don't know.
Isn't the rumor that they're still doing that G.I. Joe Transformers crossover movie? Because God help us all.
Wait a
Well, yeah, I mean,
minute.
they go from that last one.
The animated one was pretty
What's up?
good.
Transformers 1 was great, but they already confirmed they're not going to make a sequel of
Yeah,
Transformers
yeah.
1.
Transformers
Oh.
1 was amazing.
You
That's
know?
because they're all about They're all about the stupid blockbuster numbers, and it's giant
Yeah.
corruption.
No, but what I mean is in the 80s, the Transformers G.I. Joe animated movie was just fine.
Well, what else is funny is Hasbro actually releases G.I. Joe crossover figures. So, like, there's a his tank that transforms into Megatron, and Baroness can
And
sit
the
in
Thunder
the turret
Machine.
on it or whatever.
Mhm.
And they have one
And-
for
and-
the Striker.
Apparently,
Yep.
this is confirmed, and it's coming out
What's this?
2026.
What, the
lot
second
of stuff coming out
Transformers
next
1
year.
or what?
No. Transformers G.I. Joe.
Okay.
My problem is they're popping out movies, and those movies are meant to try to grab a new audience. But let's be honest, they're grabbing us, right? You should
Oh,
work on
absolutely.
a TV show for kids, like reintroduce it to their medium if you really want to build up that fan base. And that way, when you pop the movie out, dad and son can go together excited, and one's looking for the references to the previous iterations while the other one's enjoying it for what it is. I think they're missing the mark.
And that's the magic that was Transformers 1, because it had a lot of nods for us old folks, but they had enough of that new life for new collectors to get into. But then you see the toys that
Yeah.
it's a challenge because kids aren't really playing with this stuff anymore. And to kind of go with the G.I. Joe aspect, G.I. Joe had saved Hasbro at least twice from bankruptcy back in the 80s. And one was thanks, to a lot of those creators back in the early 80s and such. The last cartoon I think we had was a series, I think was the G.I. Joe Renegades, which was different enough, but it was more in line to it was a serialized story that kind of grabbed a lot of middle-aged fans. And now the biggest thing that Hasbro kind of reaches with, because they are, I think it's a little bit of a synergy with them, but not enough in my opinion, is the new Skybound comics from Image. Their Transformers and their G.I. Joe line, those have been selling like wildfire, but they're not they haven't been hitting that or utilizing it, I think, in a point where, they're missing that lightning that's happening now because they're stuck with like trying to create figures for us 40-year-olds in the classified and saying, all right, well, we have what just came out. Blowtorch, all right.
Yeah.
Blowtorch is in this new wave, and he was the flamethrower, one of my favorite toys. We haven't been using flamethrowers since 1978. So you're recreating all this stuff, but you have all this talent and you have an opportunity to introduce characters and stuff faster in a comic book now. You create new characters, create something that's going to be in line with what you're trying to grab with new fans, because sooner or later we're going to die or we're going to stop collecting because we got to prepare for retirement and stuff.
Yeah,
so that's one of the things I think that they're missing out on some of that. So
They need to release Ice Cream Soldier.
Thank you, Pete. I'm glad I didn't have to say it. I'm waiting for Ice Cream Soldier over here. Waiting.
Yep. So
that was my guy.
This is Yojo June, and they barely put out anything right now on everything that was set for pre-order. The one exciting figure that fans were wanting to buy, they haven't opened up that pre-order yet. There's reasons and rationale that, for good or bad, people are talking about in the community, but it's been kind of a slow burn for them. And I'm hoping here this last week of this month they're going to come out with a banger or some sort of stream to kind of like even keel everything. But I don't know if they're going to do that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Maybe they'll come up with a new HasLab.
Well, that's going to be the end of this month, I think. They're going to reveal that, or else it's during San Diego Comic-Con or something. I forget. One of them they're gonna say it. I mean, they've been doing some hints at it, and I mean, without spoiling or hypothesizing too much, everyone's kind of saying it's going to be the Snowcat, which would be cool, but you've got so many other awesome vehicles that you could make, for a HasLab. We were saying earlier tonight they were coming out with their version of the All Striker. The Snowcat's not much bigger, but you have so many other larger vehicles that
for a HasLab,
make.
like HasLab's when you go above and beyond.
Exactly. They've done the Rattler. I mean, the His Tank was a great one, and the Dragonfly is really decent too. I mean, those are the type of things that you could theoretically make. It's just taking the risk of doing it for a more retail audience than wasting a HasLab for it.
Yeah.
I digress.
That's
scratch.
What did we have to go over this week?
I mean, I had a lot.
Was there a lot?
What?
I don't know.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said, was there a lot?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's quite a bit.
Pete, you should be audible when you speak.
I was just lipping what you were going to repeat anyway.
Yeah.
So you said, was there a lot? And I was like, was there?
Do we want to do that? Can I?
Go for it, man. I've been monopolizing, and I apologize for that.
No. Well, this is why we have people on, though, because we don't always get to talk to other people outside of our group. So, no, it's great having guests on to pick their brains, see their opinions and their takes on things. I mean, it's about having and maintaining this community. You might want to close that little X, Dan.
Nothing private. Those are public emails. And the reason why it was Kmart is because it was Australian.
You're a public email. Oh, it's Kmart, eh?
But Simpson sedan set coming out.
Okay.
Would love a 112. Give me the same style. Doesn't need to be fancy. Just give me that car.
Yeah, this is the size for kids, right?
Yeah.
Or, the size someone will buy to fit more stuff on their shelves.
2.5 inches for kids. That's it.
You should buy that for Kelly. She loves Simpsons.
No, that's all right.
Put on a figure on the shelf, eh?
So, have you purchased a lot of these things from a lot of the Simpsons stuff from Jack's specific? I mean, how do you feel about? I mean, that first wave, I did pick up Homer just because I really wanted the donut accessories, but I've seen a lot of them. It hasn't been moving as much as I was hoping for. I mean, they're really cool figures. I mean, they're simplified compared to a lot of modern articulation, but the style and aesthetic is really on point. And I've seen some of the smaller size stuff, like the play sets for the living room that kind of equal, I guess, to this. But
I think for me, it was about grabbing the whole family, and I wasn't that interested to start out with. But the moment that I went to the store and was like looking for the first couple waves and couldn't find Bart or Homer, I was just like, you know what? How much do I really want these? I don't think I'm in it. Now, Futurama, if you give me a Bender, give me a Fry, give me a Leela.
Yeah.
Didn't you have Bender last weekend?
2 weeks in a row, actually.
It was really good, actually.
Dan sitting there like, you son of a bitch.
That's really good. No, that's pretty good. I was just talking about this cartoon a couple days ago.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what I saw. I think it was just the intro. Somebody played the intro on Facebook. I was like, Kelly, do you remember my wife? Do you remember the animated show Cops? She was like, is that the one that's all, Cops .o.c.o. Yeah, it all stood for something. 2 days later, I see this. Like, okay. I don't remember it particularly being a great show, but I also don't remember him being a robot.
I was like, he's a robot. I thought he was like a guy.
It was his upper torso that was fixed before that, he was hurt or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is a Big Bad Workshop again. So I voiced my concerns with it last time, but I'm still worried that, they're going to start driving up the prices of these figures for the small market. I see that's a $40 price tag already. Big Bad Toy Store, are they going to start, pushing their own product? That was my original concern, but I haven't seen the tick really being promoted like that. So I guess it's all good for now.
Yeah, I think their big push right now with the workshop is between Operation Monster Force, which that's been a 4-year project for them, and that's the other concern I have with them starting all these different lines is how long is it going to take for them to get things out? We might be seeing wave 2 of this Monster Force line, and then they have the 1/18 scale stuff that they've been working with other studios for. I remember this cartoon, and I remember having a couple of the old, like 12-inch scale or 12-inch tall toys, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to warrant. Like, there's not enough awareness, I think, with old pops.
There it is. Yeah, I remember having a couple of the figures and the helicopter.
Central Organization of Police Specialists.
Yeah, Central Organization of Police Specialists. That's what it was.
I remember.
And I remember watching this a lot, but it's not one I've revisited. I don't know.
It's not one that's like really aging well, but I mean, it's weird. Like, you'll see this, and then you'll see like the nacelle, like biker mice from Mars, and that one, those figures took off like, I don't know, much better than I anticipated, considering they were trying to do all these other toy lines, like Sectars. I don't know if you remember that cartoon at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 13 episodes and done. But
I was really intrigued by Bucky O'Hare, and that never got, to me, a fair shake.
Exactly. And I think with Sectars, they started with like these 2 or 3 figures, but the main gimmick of that toy line was you had the puppets of like the bigger insects that these guys rode on. And there was nothing from them on that. So it was another one, like, it really never had a leg to stand on today. I think I had that dog. And
the more I see the intro, the more I remember, like, I remember that guy. I remember that guy. I remember it was very similar to G.I. Joe as far as they didn't shoot bullets. It was lasers.
Yep. Yeah,
In the
this
cartoon,
definitely
as
took
far as
on
the
more of,
cartoon
like,
goes.
this was definitely much more of like the Deke seasons of G.I. Joe, where like the animation was a lot less defined and it was more hokey. Not that the
Yeah.
first seasons with Cobra wasn't, jokingly around as well, but
What is
Well, it's Attack on Titan.
Attack on Tyson?
Attack on Tyson.
That's it.
I swear to God.
now I know nothing about this anime. at
Neither
all.
do we. That's why I don't know why we're going over it.
He shared it with me. It's on the list. I put it up on the thing.
Still interesting to look at.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a really cool, different design. Just don't know how it could fit into
Better watch it. Opie.
my
It's
aesthetic of.
coming for you.
That's a lot of teeth that lady has.
Yeah.
I don't do anime.
All I know is it's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Is that
Apparently-
one guy eating something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
eating a
eat
person?
people.
He's eating a person.
They eat people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And I
Yeah.
know there was like some live action movie about this anime, and I'm sure if I talk to the other guys, they're gonna, hound me about like, well, you should watch this, and I'm like, yeah.
That sounds familiar,
Okay.
actually. I don't know too much about it, but that does sound familiar. You also might want to be careful. Oh, I thought you were Googling it still. I'm interested in this. I didn't pre-order this. If I do, I might actually just get it through Fans Hobby because it's cheaper. I mean, it's
Minus the
Striker.
shipping. Minus the shipping.
Yeah, I
Because
guess.
I looked this up, and while it is $100, they charge like $50 in shipping.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's
So
where
if
Big
you go
Bad.
through Big
that's where-
Bad,
That's where Big Bad evens out. Like, I went the Ghostbusters that I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered them through Big Bad because, like, yeah, the price is inflated by like $100, but that's because I'm gonna pay $4 to ship them.
exactly. Now this is a competition now between a lot of things. Because like as we were talking earlier, the All Striker was announced earlier this month, and there was a lot of feedback about like the size of the front wheels, the back wheels. It looked a little more. It wasn't as aesthetically nostalgic like this is, and that's kind of where we're talking about before. Like, who are you trying to get? Are you trying to get the old people that like want to have this old nostalgic feeling about it all and get the toys that they had, or do you want to have a little more originality and creativity? Now this one's cool because it has the light features with it.
Yeah.
And then they just showed another thing with I think there's a rocket attachment you can get separately.
Yeah,
That
I
sits
do
on top of
remember
this?
hearing about that. Yeah,
So
it looks like
and then
ScarJo.
mhm. And then
Well,
you
that's
have
Wolverine.
Gridiron Studios that did their version of this as well. Now that's 3D printed. You don't have like this one, and the Hasbro has the front axle steering,
Yeah,
where Gridiron's just like you can roll it forward and roll it back. So it's interesting to see how the collecting community breaks out their view on things and what they would accept versus what they don't accept.
right. It's funny to see more and more of this type of stuff because last year Pete and I were saying on the podcast that we think that vehicles are going to be the next thing, and it 100%.
Well, there's only so many times you could buy a 1/12 scale motorcycle, and then you're like, all right, enough of it. So
Yeah. Well, I was interested to see like where the wrecking line goes because I think they do great. I picked up a couple of their ATVs. I should have picked up their semi. I don't know why I haven't. I do love the sports car that they did.
I have this semi somewhere.
And I think the price point is perfect. You're talking about $30-$40. You get a vehicle for your 1/12 figures. It doesn't have to be overly designed in this way. I mean, we just have like a trunk that opens, two doors that opens. The seats don't really slide, but they're big enough for your wrestling figures, for your action figures to slide in there too. So I mean, I'm down for that. I don't get me wrong. I have my $100, $200 figure cars too. Like I definitely have 3 turtle vans that we won't talk about, but
I have the ramen van. and it's kind of awesome, actually.
Only
Yeah,
3?
I like that. I have the Ramen Racer.
You have the Ramen Racer?
I have the Ramen Racer. I won't say the number of Valaverse Vanguards that are sitting downstairs because I did find some in the aftermarket that had the broken axle, so I'm fixing those.
Okay.
That thing's really cool.
I have that. It's too big for me. It's disproportionately large.
When is that Mezco vehicle coming out?
I don't know, man. They haven't.
Never. Dude. I remember when that thing was first shown and everyone was like going nuts for it. I mean, that was what, $350 for it?
Did they announce a price? I don't remember that.
I can't remember. I thought someone said there was a comment about it.
Did they never put it up, did they?
No, they just showed a picture of it.
So yeah, they just showed the picture of it with the Rattler guy.
It was back in RumbleCon 2023. It's the Rumbler, the Reinforced Urban Military Vehicle Land Rig.
Do it,
That's a
Mezco.
mouthful.
Do it.
I mean, that looks awesome.
Actually, no, I'm not ready for it. You can hold off a bit. I have some expensive shit coming through.
So this Darth Vader looks great, but I'm pretty happy with the Mayfix Vader that's out. So I think I might pass on this.
This does actually look really good.
I was a little surprised. This isn't done by the same company that did the Maul or Luke or Anakin, if I remember
Well, it
right.
might be. They might have just changed names.
Yeah, this is a different studio name. Death Star
Nice
Supervisor.
photography for it, though.
I love the name of it. I love that.
Something about the head looks off, though.
Is it a little too small? I mean, it's good that he has like actual shoulders that are not slunk down, but now you're making me look at it here.
Oh, yeah. Is that one piece that's going straight across?
Yeah,
he's not getting no range of motion on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful. Although I will say that stitch work on that leather glove, pretty amazing.
What the heck?
Wait, I thought this was going to be 1/12. It's waitlisted anyway.
Wow. Wow. That has to be
what are the dimensions for this?
And it's also saying it's quarter scale.
Yeah. 45 inches. Holy crap.
Okay, so enough room for the Hot Toys Batman inside. I'm getting the no, it's a different, it's JND. I'm getting
It comes with the scissors. Why did somebody tell me you had one of those things?
It's the little things, Dan.
So Pete, I saw you pulling out the tape measure. I mean, 45 inches.
Jesus Christ.
It's 1/6 scale. That's enormous.
That's sleeping on the couch for a month at least.
Yeah.
What, you?
I was wondering if it would show like does it have it should for that price, like were you able to mount that against your wall, because I don't know how else you're gonna display that thing.
Oh, I'm gonna go right back to it in a second. I just wanted to compare measurement. I wanted to compare sizes.
Yeah, but this is a 1/12 scale, so it's
I know. I want to. I'm comparing sizes for me.
Well, I was gonna say you should have just done the Blitzway.
Yeah, for that price, like you're right.
The Blitzway is like 3.5
But it's
feet
not
long.
the Ecto 1A.
I want a golden goose now.
I want the 1A. I have 15 Ecto ones. The one.
Do you have any Mountain Dew?
Mellow yellow's the way to go. If you're gonna kill off your
I
count.
cast Magic Missile.
I didn't ask
That's-
for a large farva. I wanted a goddamn liter of cola.
This is gorgeous.
Are there any girls there?
Oh, I
That's
didn't even
gorgeous.
see the price there. Holy hell. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, man. It's for the scissors. I'm telling you. This, I'm just like, all right, another Arkham Knight. And I'm good.
Oh, this is.
Yeah,
get
but
it.
this is Arkham Knight. Like Revoltech did Arkham. Wait, that's Arkham Knight too?
No, they did
Yeah.
Arkham Afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is different.
Okay, I've can't remember if I saw this one before or not.
This is pretty.
I don't think I need another one because the Revoltech one is like perfect. But look at him; he can look down.
His eyes can move. Yay.
He can look down, so he can be sad, like Batman is.
I can't tell if this cape is better or worse than the Revoltech one. That's one of my criticisms about the Revoltech
Yeah,
is
it
the
looks
cape's
fucking
not
fantastic.
beautiful.
Mhm.
It looks so good, and I love that they're teasing Deathstroke too.
I'm so happy with the Mezco Deathstroke. I'm good. Good for life.
Did you get the
still have
Mezco
some.
89 Batman?
No, I skipped that one.
Yeah, it was easy skip.
It's
for
good.
me. That's a good one.
That was the seamless body, right?
Yes.
That's scary to me.
Yeah, the seamless bodies always concern me.
Rest in peace,
Yeah.
David Warner. Voice of Ra's al Ghul in the animated series.
Mhm.
You didn't know that?
Did not.
He was
Now
into
you
it.
know.
Wasn't
And
into it.
knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe. Is this a
thought-
re-release?
Stop
No,
talking over
this is
Junkion.
this is like Todd's latest target send outs for these for the animated lines. He's gonna have a build-a-figure set for Jonah Hex. So
Oh yeah,
it's
so
weird,
it's,
like, as soon as Todd loses the license for DC, he starts throwing like everything out now. So some good, some bad.
yeah. Then you got
McFarlane's always one of those lines that I'll like be more than willing to talk negatively on.
yeah.
Just so
I
much
still-
talent and then lackluster production.
Still haven't forgiven him
Yeah,
for that Blair Witch thing.
I'm just a hater.
Also true. This is a cool figure.
Hmm.
I don't see a lot of Gray Ghost figures. One of my favorite episodes of that series.
Mhm.
Arguably one of the best. I don't think it's arguably.
No, at least proportionally, it's not. You could use this and mix it in with your other lines because he doesn't have like, he's not really looking animated style with like the tiny ass legs and such. He actually
That's
has
true,
some
yeah.
depth to him.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? This also brings up, okay, there's the whole set which builds the
Mhm.
Jonah Hex. You know what? I was looking at this figure, it brings up something that the first two Batman movies by Tim Burton and the animated series did, which it has that modern past mixture. Like, it looks like it could happen in the 50s, 60s, but they're also used to VCRs and computers.
Yeah,
Like
it's like an alternate
Mhm.
history.
Yeah, there's a word for it I can't think of, but it's one of my favorite looks where they're driving around and, one of the cars is an 88 Caprice Classic, but, the phone he picks up is from 1936. It's it's not an insult. I friggin' love it. I love that. I picked this up because it was shared. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it, but Fonjoy, I guess, has announced that they're doing DC, Marvel, and King of Fighters and more. Pete, I think you shared this, so you're gonna have to elaborate.
Yeah, we just started covering some of their stuff. They're fairly new as a studio, but it looks like they are gaining some steam and fast. So they have now partnered up with 5K Toys.
Curious, they're officially licensed, so I'm curious where they're going to be available.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
It's like Joy Toy officially licenses, but you can't buy their Ninja Turtle stuff in the U.S.
But they did.
Right.
I'm assuming it's on 5K, so you can grab it.
Because we talked about their King of Fighters line, and it was available in the States, was it not?
Yes, it was.
So I am making a possibly naive assumption. Yeah, that's all going to lead to the same thing. Never mind, because it's going to go to my Facebook and a bunch of windows are going to pop up. This is breaking news. Breaking news.
Oh, but it's SHF.
Right?
I don't
That's
collect
what I
that
said.
one.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, man, this looks so cool, but it's going to be short.
Yeah.
Look at the beam, though. Come on.
It looks so good, but I have a Mayfex one.
I have the Mayfax one. I am
Yeah.
super happy with that one too.
Man, but look at him. He looks so beautiful.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a tiny little angel.
It's so
One-eyed angel.
clean.
No, it's so good.
God,
Dun, 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 dun.
that was a pose.
That was a nice little.
That felt like showing up DMA for his Spider-Man pose.
But they definitely caught the scream from the video game. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
That
awesome.
looks really good. I don't know if I pissed off my neighbor or if they just thunk around like an elephant, but that was really loud.
Oh, I know you don't care for these, Matt. These look pretty cool though. He's doing a good job with these. At least he's capturing the likeness, the comic book style from it. These are 1/10 PVC statues, right?
Yeah,
All right,
something.
so this is kind of what they have out now with like Thor and Spider-Man and such.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing now.
Kind of to rival the I guess the Selects,
Select is defunct now, right?
the
I was
Diamond.
gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, Diamond. Well, is it all of Diamond or just I guess Diamond is gone.
Yeah, it's all their diamond stuff, and then I guess there's a huge stink going on because they found a lot of financial
Yeah.
meanderings, I guess you want to say.
Oh, I bet.
So,
It's too bad because their last couple releases, they were knocking it out the park.
mm-hmm.
Like I really enjoyed the Apocalypse that they put out.
This is actually a cool Spider-Man, I won't lie.
Yeah, but is it better than the 3 he already showed us?
That's true.
What?
That's true. This is
What?
like
No,
the
it's not
second or
true.
third one.
What are you listening to me for?
Because I'm pretty sure the first release was a Spider-Man. Yeah.
No, I think he's talking about the 3 figurines you pulled out before that.
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I thought he was making
Pete.
fun of McFarlane for doing other Spider-Man.
No, I'm making fun of McFarlane because he's a dweeb.
Oh, he's okay.
He sucks
He
sometimes.
put out a figure of himself without shoes on.
Because he doesn't wear shoes.
It's like Liefeld. He's just something about him that bothers me. That's not bad. Did I? Speaking of Liefeld, now
They look good. I wish they would articulate, but
so I can't pick. God damn it!
Nah, his website is not good for looking at things.
There. I will say, all this reminds me of is the video game, which I love the movies, but is still my favorite adaptation of Deadpool, was that video game version. I thought it was phenomenal. Nailed it. I played through it 3 times. Man,
it's been such a long time since I played it.
I just love it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It got terrible reviews.
There's nothing wrong with that game.
Was that by the same company? Like they did wasn't there like a Punisher game? I for like the original Xbox I was playing like constantly just for the interrogation scenes.
Who did the Deadpool video game? High Moon, that's right.
Okay.
High Moon Studios, which is built in. There's a built-in joke for that as well.
Well, they said, oh, never mind. You're looking. You're good. Sorry.
What?
Nothing. You found exactly what I was looking for.
Oh, okay. Matt. Well, you have a disc drive. Play that game, and there is a PS4 remastered version that came out. That
I'm replaying Resident Evil right now.
Oh, I know. Can only do so many things with a PlayStation.
Oh, Dan's gonna tell me that people can watch and play more than one thing.
That's not. No, I didn't say watch. No, those are not the same. And I don't want to hear your fucking mouth after you saw my picture of my watch pile. I started Daredevil, and I said not another word.
You don't even need to touch your pile.
No, I don't stream. Hello? Why would I stream and get less quality when I can get higher quality on a disc with my stuff? Anyway, my buddy, I had this when I was a kid. Moving on.
Why are you showing us your friend?
He's not my friend. He turns into a murderer in another movie.
Your mom turns into a murderer in another movie.
Yeah. So, funny enough, she told me a story where someone at her church today told her to shut her mouth. That went well.
So your mom did turn into a murderer.
Yeah, he left quickly. She told me this story, and I just started. And he said to me to shut my mouth, and I just started laughing. I was like, "Oh, did he?"
Does she have a tail?
I hope she does. I'm kidding. No, I don't know. I'm not kidding, actually. What is this, Pete? You sent it.
I send a lot of stuff. I don't know where it's from.
You need to figure out your priorities, man.
No, I just like sharing cool stuff. Like, what if somebody watches the cast and they see this and like, man, that's pretty fucking
It's
awesome.
her hair.
I don't know what the hell it is. She has huge boobs, so I need this figure in my set.
Yeah, that's why you sent it, because she's stacked and she's so top heavy. She needs a peg stand in the back of her shoulders.
She is stacked. That is correct.
Actually, one of the reasons I was asking if she had a tail is because this kind of fits in with the devil toys a little bit.
She has a tail.
Too sexualized, but the swords really remind me of the devil toys. I forget which one, but one of those two that I have.
We have two more.
Red one. One of them's going to take a minute. Oh my God, I forgot about this.
Oh,
I'm so excited for this.
My God.
I already pre-ordered it. That's not the price. That's not a real price.
Okay, good.
Wait, no, that is a real price. Never mind. I'm a liar. I did pre-order this, though. I'm
liar.
so fucking jazzed. Oh, it's going to be awesome.
okay. So as someone who's not touched anything Joy Toy at all, give me the sales pitch on your love for it and how you would enable someone to start looking at getting these.
Joy Toy has been doing a lot of 1/18 stuff lately. The Warhammer line is huge. Like, I own like 50 of the Warhammer figures or something, which is scary to think about because they're not exactly cheap. But they're able to achieve scale with them too. I mean, they're 1/18, but the Space Marines are a little under 5 inches. But this mech is going to be 21 inches. I have another.
Oh, okay.
Their mech suits. I forget exactly what it's called, but it has metal, like die-cast metal joints and everything, and it fully articulates. I put it back in its packaging earlier, and it fits the little guy inside of it. So the hatch on this mech will open up, and this character can sit inside of it, and it has a decorated interior.
That'll fit inside of it.
Yeah, that's the pilot.
Yeah, but it's so deep.
Okay,
I know, but that's a 1/18 scale figure. That's like a 4-inch figure. The top of that opens up. If he fits in there. Outside of the Warhammer line, they also have 𝗀𝗏𝗆𝗆, which is some other thing I'm not familiar with.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And then they have another line that's based off some other like anime or comic. I think they have Warhammer, 𝗂𝗏𝗄𝗵𝗵 is a comic, and then another one that's also a comic. But then they also have their own IPs, which like Dark Source has like samurais and ninjas in it, but it also has more contemporary things, and it also has mechs. They used to do 1/24th stuff, and then they broke into 1/18th, and it all has really good detail. I mean, the figures are a little smaller, so they don't necessarily have the double jointed elbows and everything, but they have double jointed knees. They look good, and then the mechs are fully articulated. They're not as big as this, but this is created because it's part of their Warhammer license. 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗆 is also doing a 1/18th scale Ninja Turtles line, which is not available domestically, but there are ways through eBay and other third-party sites to get them, and I love the line. I cannot wait for them to do a turtle van because the designs look great. I think the price point's actually solid. It's not like it's their own interpretation of it. They take some liberties with them, but man, 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗆 is just killing it for me.
They're not Krang taking the Statue of Liberty, huh? Huh?
Is that Ghostbusters reference?
No, it's a Krang reference.
At its detail and articulation that are the selling points, as well as just like the sharpness of the deco and everything like that. Now you were saying, I mean, I'm assuming they do vehicles as well for the Warhammer stuff, because it seems that's like the main thing I've seen them.
Yeah, so they have those two. Those are they're I forget what they're called, but they're also releasing a tank for the Blood Angels, and the tank is going to be huge. It's meant to fit 5 of the Space Marines in it, and those are 4-inch figures. So this tank is going to be comparable in size almost to the G.I. Joe classified his tank. Like it's going to be,
but it's not going to be. It's not going to take up as much space as a Batwing. That's what you're telling me.
It won't be that big. No, it won't be that big. But I'm also hoping that they break more into some of the other large things for like the Xenos, which is one of the bigger alien races in Warhammer. There's a enemy called a Carnifex, and it's basically like a 9 or 12-foot tall monster, like alien thing. And I want them to put that out so that I can have my Warhammer figures like fighting that thing. Like,
no kidding.
They just keep putting out all these things, and I just eat it up because they look good. They're a lot of fun.
So you're going to have all your space now that you can have your new place that you're in right now.
I mean, they're packaged up. I had a whole shelf that just had like a display of a sampling of different Warhammer figures I had. I'll probably leave them packaged up just because they have like all these little accessories and guns and swords and everything like that come with them. And I like to keep things with the original packaging. There's so much stuff that I haven't opened. It's just that's mainly what I've been hoarding is Warhammer stuff by 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗆.
It sounds like me. I get all this stuff and never have enough time to open it up and play around.
Yeah, it's the hard life.
Yeah, this is the last thing on the list. Samurai Jack stuff.
You're not.
This is still open for pre-order. Oh, this is Big Bad. Okay.
Yeah, I think I sent you this because I saw that they teased the villain for this.
Yeah, I got. Good. All right, I'll shut up.
No, this wasn't. Yeah, that one.
Oh, these are the 5 points, though. That's okay.
So, it's a 5-point set. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, this show came out after my time. I was already a little too old for this, but
it's weird. I have a box set of the entire series downstairs. It's like you could rewatch it or something.
I could.
That's one of Kelly's favorites, and then the box set also included the not the reboot, but the continuation that came out a couple of years ago. Said it was very good.
You said it was very good.
No, I didn't say that because I didn't see it. That not a good joke.
You're not a good joke.
That was a little better.
Is this their first 5-point line with swappable parts?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that Popeye has swappable parts.
Does Popeye get entertaining with the swappable parts, or I don't know. I have this thing against Popeye. I don't know. I never thought it was funny or entertaining.
You've never had pot pie?
I don't. No, I've had chicken pot pie.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done with you.
Like I said, Pete gets a chuckle. Dan says, "Notch."
I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Done with you. I don't know how to shut this off now, so we're just gonna go back to the regular screen and do our outros, gentlemen.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Oh, thank you guys for inviting me again. This is fun. Like I said, it's more enjoyable for me to sit down and just talk and BS about a lot of this stuff than do
Mike,
do what other people do.
before we sign off, did you want to go ahead and plug all your socials for us?
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. So Junkion Crafts and Builds. Again, YouTube is the main thing. And then every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm on with the Figure Action Podcast guys. Talk about toy news, topics, anything else we come up with. Instagram, just for kind of messing around with my photography. And Facebook, I just kind of use that just for community interaction and stuff. So yeah, like posting things in my community posts on YouTube. That's probably the easiest way I try to get information out to everyone, and just that's pretty much it, man.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Dan drawing all over the screen right now.
I didn't know. I literally.
Thank you so much again.
I discovered it literally now, and I did not know I could do that. Oh, great! Now you see my background.
Genesis. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us on another Sunday. If you want to hear more of our thoughts, tune in on Sundays, 8 p.m. live on YouTube, or this is the last show, so it'll be 7 p.m. moving forward, starting next week.
Yeah, it means I get to do karaoke on Sundays now.
Ooh. Head to shadowmoses112.com to add our accessories to your collection, or slide into Instagram to see what the current projects we're working on. Thank you again for joining us, and have a good night, guys.